Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiotz is here, and it's a Friday freakout, and I'm freaking out because the Raptors G League season is about to start today. Raptors 905 are in Long Island, New York, to play the Long Island Nets, and this is an official opening preview for the G League season for our G League affiliate, the Raptors 905. So if you're not familiar too much with the G League team, ask any questions you want, and I'll try and answer them. And also, I've got an overview of the squad for this year. I've got a ref report for tonight. I've also got the lineup for the Long Island Nets and just other assorted stuff to go over today. More in-season tournament games for the NBA tonight with the flashy courts and just general NBA news like the Bucks game last night. All kinds of different things to talk about on the stream today. So let me start out with the Raptors 905 team this year. We have a very strong Raptors 905 team. There were a lot of exhibit 10s and waivers and people going through that process to show up on our team. Now, they had a training camp in the last week or so with 18 players involved, but they cut 5 of them down, and now they're down to 13. Now, this roster is 13 players, including our 3 two-ways, and also can include people from our main roster like Gradey Dick and Christian Koloko, seeing as their rookie and second-year player, respectively. So, that is not the full 905 that can be present and playing for them because Grady and Koloko can both be coming in at times this year also. But initially, they're going to start out with the 13. And I'll start it off with the 3 two-ways, which we, of course, know these guys. And they're going to be kind of the marquee guys for Raptors 905 this year. And we'll see them on the main roster also because they're two-ways. And these guys are Markquis Nowell, Javon Freeman-Liberty, and Ron Harper Jr. Of course, Markquis is set 5'7" point guard from Kansas State who hit huge shots in the NCAA tournament this past year. Made a big name for himself as such a little guy. And he's somebody that's very intriguing and interesting as a prospect in the Raptors organization. In some ways, he has a lot of shades of Fred VanVleet, and we'll have to see if he can garner any kind of duplication to the success that Fred has had going the undrafted G League route for Markquis Nowell. So tonight, that is what I am excited about, is getting to see Markquis play in Long Island, New York, Mr. New York City, taken to the court for the Raptors 905 tonight. I will speculate that these two-way players, because their two-way status, will most likely be starters for the Raptors 905. In fact, if I was going to guess their starting lineup, I would say it's going to be Markquis, Javon Freeman-Liberty, Ron Harper Jr., Mo Gee, and Maker as the 5 starters for the Raptors 905 tonight. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm saying Mo Gee and Maker also because of how far they got in training camp with us this year. That they were very heavily involved in the regular Raptors training camp this year, Maker and Mohamedou Gee. So that's my guess at the starting line. Of course, they could be totally different. They could put Daryl Morsell in there just because he's a vet, or they could put, they could have Justice Winslow in there maybe even. I don't know. We'll have to see how Eric Khoury wants to run his team this year. But he's really got a good, talented team. So we have the 3 two-ways. Markquis, the really short guy. I say he's 5'6", because in some ways he is 5'6". He's not 5'7", and 5'6" sounds even more impressive than 5'7". But I will tell you right now, my scouting report on Markquis Nowell is, of course, he's a great little point guard. He can pass. He has really good vision, and he can really pass to people. But something that people that are going to realize real soon about him, he's also a dead eye from outside, and he's going to be a very, very good three-point shooter for the Raptors 905. Hopefully, he can translate to the NBA level also at some point, but we'll have to see. All right, Javon Freeman-Liberty. This guy was on the Windy City Bulls last year, and he's already a really, really good G League player. In fact, he was leading the G League in a couple categories last year. He's a bona fide scorer, hooper. This man can fill it up. He can fill it up from the outside. He can get near the rim and just find his way to get that ball to go through the hoop. And I like that. We needed more guys on our team that are just straight up scorers, guys that just know how to put that ball in the hoop. And Javon Freeman Liberty is definitely that. He's an interesting guy. Chicago kid, hasn't spent a whole lot of time outside of Chicago, and he's broadening his horizons with the Raptors 905, even in his second year as a G League player. The thing about him is, yeah, he's been around Chicago pretty much his whole life. He played in college at DePaul, and he was on the Windy City Bulls. So this has been very much different for him being with the Raptors 905. I like Javon. He's got a nice energy to him, and I'm very, very curious to see just how much he progresses. And maybe he presses Darko to say, hey, I need this guy on my team. And he may be playing for the Raptors for stretches of this year also, just to help with a little bit of offensive punch. That's what I really see Javon Freeman Liberty as kind of being, is an offensive punch guy. Like if you just need a basket all of a sudden. In some ways, he's in the depth chart below Gary Trent as far as like this guy who's going to come and fill it up and just score for us, whether it's shooting outside or going to the basket. Ron Harper Jr., of course, being a two-way for us last year. We're familiar with him, the son of the great Ron Harper, champion of the Lakers and the Bulls. Ron's a project that people are kind of up and down on. Some people don't say, we're like, why the hell do we have him around? What is he doing? Well, he's very interesting. Ron is very, very versatile. He's versatile like Scotty's versatile. I've called Ron like a mini Scotty at times because in some ways Ron can do it all. Also, he can block shots, do steals, rebound, assists, shoot threes, post people up. There's a lot that Ron Harper Jr. can do. He's just a little undersized for his position, and this is going to hurt his career. But who knows? Maybe he can carve something out. But in some ways, this is a year for you to do it, Ron. You didn't really have a big jump in your rookie year. You really kind of just stayed the same place the whole entire year. This year in Raptors 905, we need to see Ron Harper Jr. make a jump as far as in consistency and maybe just more powerful as far as like what he's exerting on the court. I'd like to see some 20 and 10 games, Ron. I'd like to see you do more to take more of the responsibility to help them. Because in some ways, you're a veteran leader on that team this year because you were on the team last year and you're familiar with what these teams going to go through this year. So, Ron, take that leadership seriously and expand your game. I'm excited to see if you can make any strides in development to be more useful for both the 905 and possibly the Raptors main roster. Ron didn't really play at all for the Raptors main roster last year. So there's a lot of room for him to grow to hopefully be on that main roster. Mohamedou Gueye is an amazing player. He's an amazing athlete. I really, really like Mo Gueye. In fact, I thought he could be just on the regular Raptors roster. He's that good right now. The stuff he did in Summer League, the way he's so long, the way he has a three-point shot. He actually has a bit of a handle also with dribbling, and he's really good near the basket. He's in the line of Chris Boucher. We've said that before. Chris Boucher calls him his twin, and he recognizes that Mo Gueye is very similar kind of player to him. I'm excited to see more Mo Gueye tonight. I think that he's a very exciting player to watch as far as like what is possible with highlights, his crazy length. In some ways, Mo Gueye could be like Chris Boucher on the G League level and maybe dominate. Like, I'd love to see you. Could you get MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the G League this year, Mo Gueye? Because that's what Chris did. Chris went down there and he got Defensive Player of the Year and the Most Valuable Player of the G League 1 year in the G League. So there's some lofty goals for you, Mohamedou. If you think you can do that and follow the path of Chris Boucher, that'd be awesome. In some ways, it really is like that. Markquis Nowell, follow Fred's path. And Mo, follow Chris Boucher's path. That's what I'm saying. Maker is a very interesting prospect at center. He's the only true center on our 905 team this year, other than when Koloko comes down. Now, Maker has got some incredible height and length. We saw a little bit of him in the preseason, specifically at the Currents Taipans game that I was at with the Saborans. We got to see Maker make a very interesting transition dunk that was very wide, wingspanned. Bam. I love this because in some ways we collected two of the best players that we played against in G League last year are on our team now. Maker dominating for Capital City Go-Go last year. And he hurt us last year. Now he's on our team, just like Javon Freeman Liberty. These guys are two of the top G League players last year, and now they're joined our team. So I'm, like I said yesterday, The Raptors 905 need to be good this year. They have such a good team that their record should reflect it. And any of this kind of 500 garbage you had going on last year, Eric Khoury, it can't be going on this year. Your team is just too good. You can't be like winning every other game and being half-assed. I saw a lot of games last year that mirrored the half-assery of the Raptors last year. Where it's like I saw games where you guys could go win them and inexplicably you lost a close game just from poor decision making or just failure. I don't want to see that this year, Eric Khoury. Take care of business and get a good record. Win your Showcase Cup that's coming up right now. That's right. There's two sections to the G League season. This first part, right up until around Christmas, is the Showcase Cup, where they're actually playing in a tournament to like get to a thing just like the in-season tournament. Is very similar. So they've got to play like 12 games, and whoever has the best record after these 12 games gets to play in a little mini tournaments like the in-season tournament, and that'll be around Christmas. So it's really not the regular season for the G League. This is the Showcase Cup part, and it's 12 games, and the records determine who gets to be in that tournament. And I think they also do that tournament in Vegas also. So yeah, there's interesting two seasons to the G League. And this is the first part that's kind of like a tournament. It's not actually the regular season for the G League. So yeah, there's kind of the starting lineup overview. And I'm excited about it. Now, looking at other guys that could possibly start, Justice Winslow is very, very intriguing to me, being such a vet from the NBA. His years on the Miami Heat and other teams around the league really make him kind of that veteran presence this year. Last year, it was Sterling Brown, kind of being that old head vet that's played a lot in the NBA. It's just kind of around, kind of helping the guys. And Sterling's gone now. But Justice Winslow could be this guy too. Justice has been smiling a lot, Monique has noted, and he's just in a very happy mood. And he's a very talented player. So we could see some interesting things from Justice Winslow on the 905 level for sure. Another guy to watch out for was our other undrafted guy, Kevin Obanor. Kevin Obanor was at Rico Hines Runs for a good bit of it. He also was a big part of our summer league and our summer around the team, and he had some chances to possibly make the regular team. But he is on the Raptors 905 on Exhibit 10 out of Texas Tech, 6'8", 235 forward. He's going to be playing the 4 a lot because we don't have a lot of size on the 905. So he's going to have to be like our big man power forward kind of backup or maybe even starter at times. So I'm looking forward to seeing Kevin Obanor, because Kevin Obanor has some three-point shooting for a big guy like that. So that's interesting to me. Now, there are 2 players that are returning from the 905 last year, other than Ron Harper Jr. They're Daryl Morsell and Keith Williams. Daryl Morsell, a longtime Raptors 905. We really like Daryl. He was solid in Summer League. I'm glad he's back. He allows continuity from last season with Eric Khoury and knowing some of the stuff. He's a leader on the court, very vocal. But of course, I don't think Daryl Morsell will probably start. So yeah, 6'5" out of Marquette, and he's a returning player. He's a solid player. And then you got Keith Williams, who's a guard from New Zealand. He played in New Zealand professionally, but he's an American guy. He was on our team last year also, and he has been retained and will return this season also. Keith Williams didn't play a whole lot in the season last year, and he was kind of a later acquisition near the end of the 905 season. So, yeah, we've got a few returning players, Ron Harper Jr., Daryl Morsell, Keith Williams. But, yeah, the rest of the guys are all going to be pretty new coming in. We've got a guy we drafted in the G League draft just recently in the last month named Miles Burns. He's from Ole Miss. He's 24, 6'6", guard forward swing. He should be pretty talented. I don't know a whole lot about him. I know Monique has been posting videos on him in our Facebook group. But yeah, I'm going to be pleasantly surprised to just scout him tonight and watch him tonight. I didn't really go scouting the no-name guys that I don't really know yet. I was going to do it during the game tonight against Long Island. We have really interesting name combinations on our team this year. We have Omari Moore, Jalen Morris, Daryl Morsell, Markquis Nowell. So we've got a bunch of Moore players: Moore, Morris, Morsell, and Nowell. That's kind of cool. We also got a guy named Jayshawn Page. He's out of West Virginia. He's the oldest player on our G League this year. He's 29 years old. He's a 6'2" point guard, and he's from Puerto Rico / USA. So he's going to be on our team. And then we've got this Jalen Morris guy who went to Malloy. He's also older. He's 28. So these guys are kind of going to just be filler on the bench and just kind of come in. They're kind of last shot kind of guys. So we'll have to see what they do. Omari Moore, 6'6", out of San Jose State, 23 years old, undrafted American. He's on our team this year too. So that's pretty much the whole team. We cut some guys before this that were interesting in training camp. Doral Moore, a 7'1", 280-pound center from Wake Forest, was waived. I'm going to guess that he was probably a little slow. Canadian Javon Henry Blair, who played for Niagara in the CBL, was in the training camp, but he got cut also. Matt Millen of Central Florida, 27-year-old, he was cut. And then there were two guys who walked on. There were actually literally two guys who were in the Raptors Open 905 Open tryout that they had a couple weeks ago. Remember, they had the 2 days of tryouts. There were two guys that made those tryouts that were in the Raptors 905 training camp, but they were both waived themselves. Alfonso Anderson and Colin Doherty. Now, the interesting thing about those two guys are semi-pros and not local Canadian guys. These are guys who are from the States who heard about the Raptors 905 tryouts, and they came here on trying to get into the NBA from the States. And they were the two best people at our Raptors 905 tryouts. So that kind of sucks. I wish it had been two Canadian guys from the local area that had gotten those two spots at Raptors 905 tryouts, but it was two mercenaries who came to the Mississauga tryouts purposefully just to try and get their foot in the door on their career. This is how cutthroat and tough it is to get anywhere in the G League or in the NBA, even more so, because it's just like it's so competitive and so many people want to get in there. These guys are coming from the States to our tryouts, and even the local talent from around the GTA won't get those spots because these guys came from far away to try and get in there. That is how sought out it is to get a spot in this league. So yeah, there's kind of an overview of the Raptors 905 roster. Very impressive, honestly. They may be a little small overall, but that's just kind of the way it is. I'm going to be very much looking at Markquis Nowell, Javon Freeman Liberty, and I'm also very curious to see Justice Winslow for the Raptors 905. Now, tonight we're in Long Island. We're playing the Long Island Nets, and their team basically has a couple of familiar faces from our Raptors 905 from before, and we'll have to talk about them real quick. Armani Brooks is the man for the Long Island Nets. He gets called up to the Nets a couple times for Brooklyn Nets. He's had a big game already for the Nets on the main team, but he is the focus and the main guy for the Long Island Nets. We know Armani. Armani was on our team a couple years ago, and he's a very solid shooting guard, small point guard, and he can shoot. So we really got to contain and watch out for Armani Brooks. We're going to have Markquis chasing them around, maybe some Javon Freeman Liberty chasing them around. We'll have to see. But Armani is the biggest weapon against the Raptors 905 tonight. If he's there, now he may be called up and running with the Nets because they need him right now for injury reasons. So it could be either way. He's a two-way for them. And we'll have to see if Armani actually is going to be there for the Long Island Nets or if he's with the Brooklyn Nets. Noah Clowney is a young player out of Alabama that is very, very good for them. He played last year, and he's a solid player. We got to watch out for him. Jordan Hall, who was a Raptors 905 last year, is on the Long Island Nets at this point. He's a very athletic guard out of St. Joseph's, 6'7". We should probably watch out for him. Trey McGowan's another good player on the other side for today. And then there's a very interesting thing about this game today, but it won't matter because Gradey's not with them. Gradey is in Boston with the main Raptors, but his teammate from Kansas, Jalen Williams, will be, or not, it's not Jalen Williams, is it? It's Jalen Wilson. Jalen Wilson of Kansas, best friends with Gradey, will be playing for the Long Island Nets against the 905 tonight also. Now, Gradey was on the 905. They would get that nice battle of the Kansas Jayhawks from last year. But that's not going to happen because Gradey is full-fledged Raptors roster at this time. So yeah, there's kind of an overview of the Long Island Nets. Hello, Armani Brooks. Welcome. We got to play you tonight. Markquis Nowell versus Armani Brooks. Let's go. Here's your referee report for tonight's game against the Long Island Nets. That's right. Let's watch some G League tonight, baby. That's right. I have no idea who these guys are. They're just three dudes. They're three names. I have no information on them. I don't know what they like to eat or nothing. They don't do this for the 905 G League refs. We don't get the full biographies. Here are our refs. Number 42, Kevin Fahey is the crew chief. Kaz Beverly, number 51, is the referee. And the umpire is Jafar Kinsey, number 38. So there's your ref report for tonight. Kevin Fahey, Kaz Beverly, and Jafar Kinsey, all male ref crew tonight for the G League debut of the Raptors 905 for this season. All right, there's kind of my overview of the Raptors 905 roster, talking a little bit about the Long Island Nets and the referees for tonight's game. I hope y'all will watch it. If you want to know how to watch this G League game tonight around 7, you can watch it through the G League website. It's really set up nice, and it's through YouTube. So no cable, no TV needed. Just if you have internet and you have the ability to get on YouTube, you should be able to watch this game through your computer. So yeah, G League website, and the one is the one like the official website. You just go there to Raptors 905 page, and they will have a link to watch the game around the time when it's on. Here is a post that here I just put in the comments. That is my spreadsheet with the Raptors 905 roster and the information and the details on the positions, the numbers, where these guys are from, and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to look at my work from yesterday, looking at who was on our team, you can look at my spreadsheet. It's in the comments right now. All right, let's start with the comments here. Trevor J's first in. Good morning, Raptors family. Happy Friday. Trevor J saying, life teaches us one of its biggest secrets as the human race is how to survive in this world. Interesting. Life teaches us one of its biggest secrets as the human race. It is how to survive in this world. You know, it's weird because in every human being, in every species, every living thing on this earth, there's a will to survive. That's the only way life can exist, is that, you know, we had to adapt. You have to kind of like morph and change over generations with your genetics to adapt. That's only the strong survive. Darwinism. And in some ways, in today's ever-changing world with pandemics and different technologies and different things, that's true. That even in the unnatural world, human beings have to adapt and change to survive what changes in their environment and what they're doing. You know, if we're going to destroy this planet and make it more and more unbreathable air and less drinking water and stuff like that, we're going to have to learn how to survive in the ever increasing difficult situation that we're building for ourselves on this planet right now. So yeah, thank you, Trevor J, for your words of wisdom. And here's the Trevor J Cup, going to the winner of the in-season tournament. Is it frivolous? I don't know. It seems fun and colorful is what it seems like to me. That's right. Trevor J saying Giannis has scored 54 points, but it wasn't enough to beat the Indiana Pacers last night. Yeah, I didn't watch the game and I didn't watch any of the highlights, but I've heard what happened. You know, this is basically kind of the timeline of things. We talked about yesterday how Giannis got thrown out of the game the day before in the third quarter by Scott Twardowski. Well, Adrian Griffin feels like he let Giannis down by letting him get thrown out in that moment, and that he needs to be more vocal on Giannis's support and stand up for him with the refs, and that he needs to protect him, as he said. Well, he started to do that last night, and he went off on the refs, and he got tossed himself in the third quarter of the Bucks game last night. And it really is because he's trying to stand up for Giannis. He feels like Giannis isn't getting the right calls for the superstar that he is and the amount of contact that he's garnering. Well, it hurt that team, I guess. I mean, they lost a very narrow, close game with a shootout, like with the Indiana Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton just killing it. You know, they had 3 Pacers and with 20 points. And then you got Giannis on the other side, like really doing everything. 54 points for Giannis, an amazing game. No Dame Lillard playing, which was interesting. But yeah, it wasn't enough. And that's what I'm saying. You can have a superstar that scores 50 points, but it doesn't mean you're going to win. The problem there was that, you know, the Pacers had more balance. They had Halliburton, Mathurin, and Miles Turner doing good things for the Indiana Pacers, and that will beat one guy standing alone. Chris Middleton didn't do enough. He got 19 points, but without Lillard in the lineup being that 1-2 punch for the Bucks, just not enough. The craziness is that the score was so incredibly high. It was like, well, it wasn't that high. It was 126 to 124. But yeah, very, very interesting stuff. Griff getting tossed for the first time. And some people are starting to say that, things in Milwaukee aren't so peachy keen. They're peachy keen for Nick, and they're saying the vibes are strong in Philly right now. But in Milwaukee, the start has been rough. Let's just put it that way. Cowboy saying, good morning, Lex. Bam, and the Raptor Freaks. Let's go. 905. That's right. Raptors 905. Let's watch you play. I like to watch basketball every day. So when the 905 are on and then Raptors play, that means there is a basketball game on every day. All right. Good morning, Trevor J. Bam. That's from Cowboy. And Trevor saying good morning to Cowboy also. I love it. They're Cowboy in the skillet. We're going to go Long Island and kill it because the Cowboy got that skillet to cook them up. Cowboy saying, I'm just here stalking Lex. Let's fucking grow. There you go. He's stalking me. All right. I need to call the police. Cowboy saying, everybody smash the like button. Smash that like button. Thank you, Cowboy. Dana is here. Canadian Dana saying, good morning, everyone. Have to go pick up my weed. Be back soon. Friday weed pickup. That's just the start of a new good weekend. I hear that. Dana said the weekend starts at the weed dispensary. That's right, Dana. Get in there and get your weed. Your cannabis. Yes. Cowboy saying good morning to Canadian Dana. That's right. Canadian Cowboy to Canadian Dana. MSJ's here. Good to see Chris. No Raps game. Hang on. No Raps game, but Wemby versus Gobert and Towns. That's a fun lineup. That's a fun matchup. You get to see long-ass Rudy Gobert, fake motherfucker, versus the real deal Holyfield, Victor Wembanyama coming in. I want to see, I already feel like Victor is a better player than Rudy Gobert right now. I really do. Gobert, how long have you been in the league? How many defensive players a year you got? All this stuff. I already think Victor's better than you. That's just the damn truth. So, yeah, that'll be a fun matchup. Trevor's saying, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Commissioner J. Cowboys saying, Ganja Farmer by Marlon Asher is the best weed smoking sounds, hand down. Okay, he's got a song he's recommending. Marlon Asher, Ganja Farmer. Check that out on your YouTube. That's right. All right. Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Good morning to you, Cool Cat. Hope you're having a TGIF. And I know she didn't telecommuted already this week, so she's at home, working at home, but she got her TGIF going. Fan Chong's here. Good to see you, Fan Chong. It's been a little bit. I remember you. On what TV channel can we watch the game? Well, as I was saying earlier, you're going to do it through your computer on the internet. Just go to the G League website. I can do this. I'll give you the right site. All right, I'll do it right now, and you can go find it. I'll just get the click right here, and you will be able to see it. All right, this is the site you need to go to, and around the game, the link will appear, and you'll be able to just go watch it on YouTube. So, all right, I just put the new comment in, Fan Chung, and that is the website. It's just a regular 905 official website. You'll be able to watch this game through. Some of the games are put on ESPN Plus, and they're blacked out up here, and that sucks. I hate that. But this one tonight is open because it's on the G League website. So you'll be able to watch this one through the G League website. It's not on TV anywhere. You got to watch it through their website. Isaac saying, happy Friday. Let's grow 905 for sure. The 905 is a promise of youngsters maybe making it to the big leagues. And today their journey begins. Let's go, Markquis. Get your 5'6" shooting butt up into the NBA. All right, let's see. MSJ saying, Nowell isn't much of a Fred VanVleet. Nowell is much better passer. I don't know. Doesn't remind me of Fred much. What's an easy parallel to make, Chris? They're short guys, and they do have a lot in common. They really, really do have a lot in common. Heart over height. They probably have a lot of the same mentality they've had to because they've been slighted for their size their whole life. There's a lot of commonalities between Markquis Nowell and Fred, if not the psychology of approaching trying to make the NBA is very similar. If not their play styles. I mean, I'll agree with this. You're saying that Nowell's a better playmaker and a better true point guard. I think that's true. I think that's true. I think the little small sample size we saw this summer showed that this guy's proclivity to pass is very high. But if he's making the shots and he can score, he may turn more into Fred VanVleet than you think. So that's why we want to discover this. If he's going to be playing a lot of minutes, like a 40-minute game, 30 to 40 minutes tonight, he's going to get a lot of opportunities to shoot a lot. And you may be shocked just how similar he is to Fred VanVleet. You may be shocked. So, yeah. Cowboys saying 905's got some dogs. You don't want to see them in an alley, Bev. Javon Freeman Liberty himself would probably school you, Patrick Beverly, you punk ass. Yeah, Tom Duke's got Javon and Ron and Markquis. Let's go. He's got the two ways in our chat this morning. I love it. Look at Tom. Always switching the lineup up, just like Darko. He's got a regular rotation. He's got the starters that he always has in there. He's got a rotation. He's got the extra rotation. And today we're getting those 905ers in there with Javon Freeman Liberty, Ron Harper Jr., and Markquis Nowell. That's right. Membership has its privileges. You want a Markquis Nowell emote, the Raptorfreak channel is the one for you. You may not get one anywhere else in Raptors land right now. That's right. Tom Duke is originator. That's right. Isaac Campbell's putting them on blast too. There you go. Harper, Nowell, and Freeman Liberty. Let's go. Woof, woof. Woof, woof. Woof. Cowboys saying, let's go. Tom Duke is in the house. And you know what? In about a week, he's going to be in the house, hopefully. Tommy, I hope you'll get up early and come and be my co-host on the show next week. At least one of the days. I don't know if you got to get up every day while you're here and try and be on the stream, but at least one of the days while you're in town, we could do a stream together again, Tommy. It'd be fun. Tom saying good morning to me. Good morning to you, Tom. And I hope the weather's nice out on BC. It's a very, very bright, sunny day here in Toronto today. Doesn't look like we're going to get much rain or anything, but it might be cold. We'll have to see how it is. It looks like could be a little warm today. Cowboys saying alley-oop to Tom for being a ninja. For being a ninja. All right. Yeah, we can give Tom a dunk for being such a great help to this channel with his production of helping with these emotes. So awesome. I love it. All right, let's see what else. Cowboys got me and Mo on blast. I love it. Cowboy, that song's going to go number one. The Cowboy and the Skillet. There you go. Tom Duke's got a Cowboy and the Skillet. Such a great tune. I know. It's going number one on YouTube Music. Two salt shakers of salt. Yeah, you want me to do the Jimmy Buffett part of it. I get it, Tom. You want me to do my tribute to Jimmy Buffett with the two salt shakers of salt? Oh, man. Cowboy saying, trust me, blaze it up. All right, I'll listen to that song you're talking about, the ganja farmer guy. All right, let's see. I'm not going to listen to it right now. Y'all can't hear it. I'm not going to do Sue's bag. That's music reaction. That's Sue's channel. Play it again, Sue. I don't want to take her thing, man. If I did music reactions, I'd do video reactions like her. And they'd be new videos. I thought about doing it, but there's so much you can get in trouble with copyrights, and Sue knows how to do it and not get in trouble. I don't want to lose this channel because I'm doing music reactions and I get copyright strikes. And then all of a sudden I can't do my morning Raptorsfreak channel. So I'm staying away from doing any kind of music reactions just for copyright problems with strikes and stuff. I don't want to do that. I don't know. Let's see. Nameless is saying Ron is only undersized below the waist. The guy still got like a 7-foot wingspan. He's crazy because once again, Ron Harper Jr. is the heaviest guy on his team. It's weird. Like when he was on the Raptors, he was the heaviest guy on the Raptors for a little while, and he's only 6'5". He's listed at 245. Seriously. He's listed at 245, and he is the heaviest guy on this team. He's 10 pounds, 13 pounds heavier than Maker, y'all. He's 13 pounds heavier than Maker. So he's a load. And that's why I make the mini Scotty comparison. Because in a lot of ways, what Scotty does in the main roster right now with his throwing his weight around in the lane and just bumping people off and going and getting rebounds and stuff, Ron does that too at a certain level, a little bit lower level, but not like Scott does, but similar like Scott does. He can get in there and bang and butt people out of the way because he's got such a big, wide body. And that's something interesting about Ron. You're right. He's only undersized below the waist. That's kind of a insult there. Cowboys saying, who is the 905 playing tonight? They're playing the Long Island Nets. The Nets affiliate. Ugh, gross. I know. Long Island. But Armani Brooks on that team. Yeah. I see what you did there, Nameless. Just stop, please. That's a nice young man, Ron Harper Jr. He has a legacy lineage to the NBA, and we're proud to have him on this team. That's right. Alley oop to Nameless. I can't give him an alley oop for that. I'm gonna block the alley oop. As Cowboys throwing the pass over there, I'm gonna jump up like Wemby and swat it out of the way, out of bounds. That you're not giving him one for that one. That was insulting to our young man Ron Harper Jr. So he does not get an alley oop for that one. No, he doesn't. You guys can laugh about it all you want. G saying even our G League seems very happy this year. Yeah, the vibes have been strong. The vibes have been real strong. They're getting their final practice days in. They're in Long Island now. They're ready to play and start the season. I'm sure Markquis has seen the Raptors playing, and he wishes he was with the Raptors playing with the main roster, but he's gearing up and ready for his season with the 905, and he's probably been anxious for tonight. It's like, I just want to play. Why do we have to wait so long into the season for 905 to start? I just want to play. I'm sure he's very ready to hit the court. Very, very ready. Tom Duke saying Ron must have seemed like the leader, veteran of this team, vibe leader at least. Yeah, I can see this. He needs to be the leader. I think he said this in interviews recently. He said, I'm the guy who was here last year. I understand what to expect. I understand kind of like the season for the G League, and I need to be a leader for these other guys. Him and Morcell, for sure, need to be leaders. Justice Winslow, also a good leader on this team because of his NBA experience and being able to teach the guys, well, you can't do this in the other level. You can do it here, but not up there. No, you can't do that here. No, you can't. You can't throw an alley-oop for a dick joke. No, you can't do that down here. You can do that on the upper level, though. Let's see. Tom Duke saying Gradey getting minutes from Darko would be encouraging for them all to see. Well, that's the interesting thing. I still want Gradey to get a touch, just a taste of the 905, but it may not happen. Honestly, it seems like they're not going to do it with him, that he's a high enough draft pick that they're just going to keep him away, and he's got a spot in the rotation already. So it could very well be this is fine, that he doesn't do 905. But in some ways, I'm like, you know what? It might do him really good if he does. I still think that that's part of your development, part of your team. Why not let everybody get a taste of it? Because it can be good for them in certain ways. I don't know. We'll see how they handle it. Some ways they do really hold guys away from them there just in case. Like Koloko, they really only put down there a very little bit last season. And in some ways, I didn't agree with that. I did not. Fiercey saying, good morning, fam, and happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, Scotty Barnes, Twitch family. Fiercey saw Sarah. That's right. We love Scotty. We are his Twitch family. That's right. Cowboy saying, true, Tom. I think Nowell will take over eventually, maybe after tonight. He's a beast. Well, let's see him get out there. I want to see how motivated he is. I want to see him do some fancy dribbling and some fancy passing and hit some big threes. That's the one thing about Nowell that people got to realize. He's a dead eye and he can shoot. And when we see him out there, hopefully he's making his shots and he has big games where he makes a lot of points. So, yeah, I'm excited for Markquis Nowell's debut tonight in the G League. I love it. I love it. I love it. Cowboys got Darko on blast. He's the fucking man. I like that, Cowboy. I like that. You know what? I'm going to give you a dunk for that. You can get a dunk for saying that about good old Darko. I finally did watch his interview from after the Dallas game. And he was interesting. He was talking about how he told Malachi about this Tom Brady thing, about like, being better. And like Tom Brady starting out as a quarterback, he only got 2 reps in practice. And the coach said, well, if you only get 2 reps, you better make those reps memorable so you can get more. And that's true. And he's kind of using this example for Malachi, saying, look, if you don't get a whole lot of time, you need to make that time valuable so that it'll entice me to want to play you more, is basically what he was telling him. So who knows? Maybe there's certain ways that he's kind of poking and prodding Malachi Flynn in certain ways to get him better and get him going and motivated with interesting things like telling him about Tom Brady and stuff like that. Very interesting. I thought that Darko was very good in his interview. A lot of awesome praise for our players, talking about great things about Scotty, talking great things about Chris Boucher, talking great things about Siakam. And Darko, you're awesome. You're a supportive coach. And I love what you say to the press. You're really, really good with the press. And I already see Nick Nurse throwing some of the Sixers under the bus over there. He has Maxey playing at an all-star level, and Maxey is absolutely playing the best basketball ever, and Nick is still not good enough for Nick. It's crazy what he's saying right now. He's like, he could do even better, Maxey. It's like, what the fuck are you going to do? You're going to kill that young man this year, Nick Nurse, when you're pushing. Yeah, that man is already running like full speed all the time and making shots like crazy. What the fuck do you want him to do? Burst into light speed so he just becomes transcendent between the laws of space and time, that he becomes just like a light streak? What the fuck do you want from Maxi, Nick Nurse? Holy crap. Holy crap. I can't believe he said that the other day. He's like, yeah, Maxi could be even better. Like, motherfucker, dude, this guy's an all-star right now. It's like, what are you doing, Nick Nurse? Calm down. Oh my gosh. Monique is here. Super fan. Monique Lawrence. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Let's go, Eric Khoury and 905. Big season. That's right, 905ers. Big season, Eric Khoury. Your second season. It'll be your last season with the 905 because you only get a 2-year stint. And we'll see what happens with you after that. Maybe you rejoin Darko's crew and the main roster after that. But yeah, let's make a better year than last year, Eric Khoury. In some ways, I was not impressed with you as the coach of the Raptors 905. You got to win me over, Eric. So let's see some good coaching this year and some big W's for 905. You were kind of fumbling getting to L's, fumbling to get to L's last year. I don't want to see that this year. Christian Siakam, good luck to you as an assistant coach. I was looking at some of the assistant coaches for the Raptors 905, and there are Darko people in there now. There are people that have been switched out and brought in, people from Oklahoma City and Memphis that were with Darko in other places. So he has brought in a new crew coaching the 905 also, other than Eric Khoury and Christian Siakam. So this will be interesting to see. I mean, I hope Christian Siakam's still on the staff. I'm not totally sure. I should maybe go check this. Let me go see who is on their team roster for coaches at this point. Do they have that listed? No, they don't. They don't have the coaches listed. All right. Anyway, I hope Siakam Christian is still there as far as it. Yeah. Let's see. MSJ saying, I'm glad Dick isn't on the 905. Good to see Darko can get him 10 minutes a game. He's going to start hitting shots. Yeah, I'm not totally glad about it. I think this is a wasted opportunity in some ways, but maybe it's not now, not at the beginning, but at some point I could see him going down there just for a taste. It could very well be where the travel doesn't go apart. It's like they may want Christian and Gradey to travel with the main roster, but when they are crossing over and they're in the same city and it makes sense, maybe they send him out to Mississauga and he plays in the Mississauga game and he still comes back and he plays at the Scotiabank Arena later that night in a regular Raptors game. So he gets double duty. You know, in some ways, I don't really like people being like, yeah, you shouldn't play in 905. You shouldn't play in 905 because that is kind of like, you know, taking good things away from people. Like that's kind of like, you know, I don't want to confine your minds that like, oh, 905 is just a bad league. He shouldn't be going down there. You know, give him bad things for his confidence. No, I think it's the opposite. I think that we need to send those guys down there so that they can excel and look really good and really be top level. And then once they conquer that level, boom, they'll have more confidence on the upper level. So I don't know. I disagree on like the anti-905 stances that a lot of people have. Like, oh, don't send guys to 905. I'm like, what the fuck do we have 905 for then? You know, Cowboy's saying most definitely. So he's agreeing with Chris that he didn't like Gradey going there. Okay. There's my spreadsheet with the roster. If you guys want to look at the 905 roster, Fiercely saying 905 would be beneficial for Gradey, but he's doing fine with the big dogs. Surprisingly better or contributes more than McDaniels. Well, McDaniels is in some ways he's at a different place in his career. We know what McDaniels can do, kind of, and he's versatile. He's very important and very good for our team. I don't think it's really good to compare just because Gradey gets in the games and Jalen doesn't. Because in some ways, Jalen's at the tier, like I said, as Otto and Chris. And Gradey's in his own little thing. Like he's a rookie who's going to get like 7 minutes a game here and there. If he's doing well, he may get like almost 20 minutes in games. But for the most part, you know, they're different places. And McDaniels in the long run will have more minutes on the court than Gradey, I'll bet, by the end of the year. In some ways, it may not be true though. Maybe Gradey does get more minutes than him by the end of the year. But yeah, I wouldn't compare these two players because in some ways they're not really in the same kind of role on the team. And in some ways, McDaniels overlaps with Boucher to a degree, and they're kind of splitting their minutes right now. David's saying, yeah, McDaniels has been disappointing. Well, let's only in the regular season. He was fantastic in the preseason, and there's a lot of promise to him. In some ways, you guys are nitpicking once again, and we don't need to do this. We've been winning. Jalen McDaniels is a versatile defensive player that can do a lot. He fits with our 6'9" vision, and he's fantastic in a lot of ways. You can be Janet Jackson's and be like, what have you done for me lately? But the promise and the possibilities with Jalen McDaniels are wide open. So no reason to kick the man while he's just down because he's just been missing shots the last couple games he's played. I really don't agree with nitpicking this year, y'all. G saying, great overview of the 905 and even Long Island. Thank you, G. I just wanted to give you guys an orientation for what to expect tonight and who's on which teams and kind of what's going on. Noah Clowney's a good power forward, and he'll be a good matchup for guys like Muhammadu Gee and David O'Banner. We'll have to see how they handle him. He could actually be one of the main scorers for the Nets with Armani. So, but we have to see if Armani's there. I don't even know if he's down with that team. They made him need him because of injuries on the Brooklyn Nets right now. I know he's played for the Nets a few times already. Cowboy saying Tom knows what the refs eat. Good morning, David. What did they eat today, Cowboy? I have no idea what these guys eat. I have no idea what Kevin Fahey, Kaz Beverly, and Jafar Kinsey are going to want to eat. Because there's no link to click in. They're just names with numbers. That's all I know about them. I know their names. That's it. That's all I know. Yeah, Davis, bam. Good to see you. Tom Duke's just bring them pancakes, I guess. That's what he said. He knows what they want. It's just a pancake buffet. That's right. Get the different syrups, the blueberry, the strawberry, the maple walnut. Get all those together, and boom. We're good. We're good to go. That's right. A pancake buffet for the 905 and Long Island Nets referees for tonight with a 100% Canadian maple syrup nearby. That's right. Tom Duke, you're getting a dunk for your buffet of pancakes. All right, there we go. Cowboy sees it. And Tom's laughing. 905, we're going to pour it on. That's right. Get a double-digit lead. Pour that maple syrup on real thick and make sure those referees can't manipulate the game for the other team. That's the secret, Raptors. You did it to Mavs. Keep that 10-point lead, and the refs can't steal the game from you at the end of the game. Yeah, that's why we like that thick layer of 100% Canadian maple syrup. That's right. Chris is saying Dick makes the right plays. I haven't seen many mistakes, and when he starts hitting, seems tight out there, and the pace is still a bit too fast for his comfort level. He's a plus. Yeah, he hasn't hurt us. And I like that. In some ways, last year, Koloko was already hurting us at this point in the year with rookie mistakes and bad decisions. Now, Grady's not making rookie mistakes for the most part. He may have a bad turnover here and there, and he's missed shots, but for the most part, he's a bonus because he's hustling, he's getting rebounds, he's getting the loose balls, and if anything, he's a threat with spacing. They're respecting his shooting. So he kind of spaces the floor really nice. So, yeah, I agree. He's done very well on the main roster, but I still think the taste down there will be good for him, even if it's only for 2 games or 1 game even. If he just plays 1 game in 905, is that enough, y'all? Can I get that at least? Come on. Cowboys saying 905 win by 13. That's your prediction for tonight, Cowboy? All right, we're going to note that Bradley said that the 905 are winning against the Long Island Nets by 13 tonight. All right, we're going to remember that. Fiercey's talking about the Hawks versus the Magic in Mexico yesterday. Scottie Pippen sitting at courtside, having a regular season NBA game in Mexico City. Fabulous. They really are trying that market. If they want to have some balance in the league, maybe they do need to put a team in Mexico City in the next expansion. So there's a team in Toronto and a team in Mexico. And then we can see how they treat their team, like how they treat us. And then we'll have at least a friend that's like us, that's outside the U.S. That'd be fun. Mexico City would be a fantastic place for the NBA to play. And don't think that's a crazy idea. They will do it. If there's money to be made and the travel's not too crazy, they will fly teams down there, NBA teams, and do just what they did yesterday with the Orlando Magic and the Atlanta Hawks playing it there. Yeah, that's a burgeoning city. There's a lot of misinformed people about what they think Mexico is. There's money there. There's rich people in Mexico City. They can support that game. There's security. There's not going to be like people are all worried about, the players are going to get kidnapped and held for ransom and bullshit. Fuck that bullshit. People can travel in Mexico and be safe. Just don't go to cartel areas or go to really crazy places. If you're in Mexico City, you can be in really a very cosmopolitan, upscale city, and you won't see any kind of area where you'd be in danger or stuff like that. So, yeah, that's bullshit when people start saying, the NBA can't be in Mexico because it's too dangerous. That's stupid. That's closed-mindedness, and y'all need to expand your mind and go learn what Mexico really is like, because you really have a bad opinion about it. If you think that that's why they can't play there, it's crazy. All right, let's see. It seems so orchestrated. No defense at all in the first half. All offense was scoring of 70-ish. I tuned off. No competition. All flashiness. It was garbage. It was a pretty high-scoring game in Mexico yesterday. 120 to 119, 1-point win for the Hawks. Very, very interesting in some ways. I like the closeness and I like the high scoring, but you didn't like the game. There was no substance. Maybe there was no defense. It was just too easy to score. I get it. I'm glad the Hawks beat the Magic in that game. But you know what? This is what Adam Silver wanted, and he's got a very successful regular season game in Mexico yesterday. Now their G League team's playing tonight also in Mexico. It will be, let's see, they're playing in Mexico. Yeah, Osceola is playing versus Mexico tonight, and Jenna Renault is the crew chief for that game. Jenna Renault, who just did the Mavs game for us. So she's in Mexico City tonight for their G League Mexico team. I don't know who Osceola is. I don't think that that's actually a G League team. I think that's like a Mexican team they're playing down there. That's interesting. All right, let's see. Country Kong saying, good morning, Raptors Freaks. Lex, do we know if and when Gradey will be playing with the 905? I know we disagreed on Gradey's NBA readiness, but on off days like today, why not let him play with the 905? Well, all right, let's look at this idea that Country Kong's brought up, Scotty Barnes Twitch family, Country Kong, the Raptors are in Boston, and they're going to play Boston tomorrow night. So they're in Boston already, and they're practicing. They're just kind of hanging around in Boston. The game tonight is in Long Island. And in some ways, yeah, Gradey could go to Long Island tonight and play for the 905, but they're not going to do that because in some ways they don't need him to be there right now for a couple reasons. And in some ways, they want to have him to travel with the main roster team and him to get used to that, just like with Koloko. Koloko's hurt, but he's been on this road trip the whole entire time. It's not that he's with the 905 hanging out with them. No, he was with the regular Raptors, even though he has this respiratory issue. He's traveling with them. Now, I can see what you're describing as when they're both here in Toronto and the 905 have a Mississauga game and then the regular Raptors have a game at Scotiabank. I could see that happening where he does double duty. And maybe he goes and plays 20 to 30 minutes or something like in the game at 905. And then he gets like a 5 to 10 minute spot with the Raptors later that night. So, yeah, it is really when it lines up and it's geographically where they're both at. And it makes sense, but I don't think he's going to travel with the 905 team. That's the thing. I don't think Koloko and Gradey will necessarily travel with the 905 team. They're more likely to be traveling around and anchored to the regular Raptors roster. But if it's convenient and it makes sense, like Koloko, when he gets healthy, he needs to go to 905 first. Just like a pitcher or a baseball player would go to AA or AAA and then come back to the majors. He needs to do that just to get warmed up and tuned up. I believe that's what should happen with Christian when he is finally ready to play again. All right, there's the link to watch the game tonight. Cool Cat saying, looking forward to watching our Raptors 905 game later this evening. See the new faces. Yeah, I want to see some Javon Freeman Liberty filling it up. I want to see Ron Harper Jr. expand his game and play better. I want to see Maker block some shots. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Maker. Yeah. Fiercey's telling Chris to pause because he's using that last name of our rookie. That's right. Pause now. Pause. Pause. Trevor J saying, good to know, Lex, so I can watch it on my Fire Stick. That's right. It doesn't matter where you are, Trevor. If you're traveling in the United States still, doing work down there, you can. If you got your computer and the internet, you can watch this game through the website of the G League. Yeah. Randolph Phillips is here. Beloved Raptors Freaks. Most informative gang. Blessings to help complete your week. Do not allow yourself to be the background on which people project their negativity. Love. I love it. Randolph Phillips. That's right. In some ways, we're trying to be that beacon of light in Raptors Nation to cut out all that toxicness and all the craziness that people are saying. And that's important. I'm not going to let them do that to me, project all their negativity on me. I'm just taking myself out of the equation. In fact, I'm not following hardly anybody anymore. I really am relying on just watching interviews with the players and the coaches and watching the games. I'm not reading Michael Grange articles. I'm not reading Oren Weisfeld. I'm not looking at Samson Folk stuff, not watching anybody other stuff because I really don't want to copycat anybody. And I want it to be purely from my brain and my perception and what I'm seeing. There may be a little bit of things catching up from like Twitter when I'm seeing Michael Grange with a little bit of opinion there, or Kurthika with their stats and stuff like that. Sure, I may be garnering information that way, but for the most part, I really am trying to not like take in a lot of Raptors content and just do it the way where I'm just looking at games and listening to interviews. And yeah, in some ways that there's a lot of negative stuff out there by good Raptors content people right now. I don't know why. I don't get it. MSJ saying at Fiercey Salsera, I meant nothing by it, just reread it though. Hopefully when I read it, it didn't sound so crazy. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, I watched the Bucks game last night. Tough to see Giannis with a 50-point in loss. Coach Griffin got ejected. That's right. And David saying, laugh out loud. Poor Adrian. He's being sarcastic. Yeah, it's interesting. What is the Bucks record at this point? It seems like they're having a little bit of a very difficult beginning, especially, since they lost to us. That kind of like was something that they were like, we didn't really want to lose the Raptors. And we're going to play them again very soon, next Wednesday. So we're going to play them again. Tom Duke and I are going to be at that game. And yeah, Milwaukee's 5-3. In some ways, that's a better record than I thought they had right now, honestly. In some ways, we should really be 5-3 ourselves. We should be 6-2. Honestly, we should be 6-2. We should actually be like second in the East right now. We just taking care of business with Chicago and Portland. I'm gonna keep saying that all year. Just kept take care of business. We would have been up 2 wins. Fiercely saying Tom Duke chance. Looking forward to seeing you in the live with Lex. There you go. Yeah, Tom Dukey. That's right, Fiercely. He's coming co-hosted the show before. And we need to have him return and make his return. That's right. David's got Javon Freeman Liberty on blast. I like that. Cool Cat is saying ESPN dragging the appendages of their favorite teams, hoping for a chip. Laugh out loud. So pathetic to see. They refuse to acknowledge the guard is changing. Interesting. Very, very interesting stuff. In some ways, reality is going to be what reality is. And they can try and project or want this or want that. It may not always work that way out. In some ways, you wish the Lakers were the top team in the league, but it ain't happening, ESPN. Sorry. Mo's saying Muggsy will be watching Markquis for sure. Yeah, it's the little guy club. Muggsy Bogues standing up for Markquis Nowell because they identify with each other. Isaiah Thomas, not the one that used to run our team, but the more recent one that played for the Celtics. He is another guy that's rooting for Markquis. And in talking to him a lot. Fred himself, very much in that little guy club and very supportive of Markquis, even though Fred's not on our team anymore. I see them interact. And Markquis is a big fan of Fred VanVleet's. And Fred is showing love towards Markquis also because they are like Fred said, I really root for the little guy because I'm one of those little guys and we're a club. And I like these guys. Like he's a big fan of Jose Alvarado, who's another guy in this little guy club that's rooting for Markquis also. They're probably in a secret society, the little guy club. Muggsy Bogues, Spud Webb, Isaiah Thomas, Fred VanVleet, Markquis Nowell, Jose Alvarado. They're all in the little guy club. Earl Boykins. Yeah, just go get all the little guys together. They have a union, I'm sure, themselves and something like that. But yeah, they're definitely rooting for each other for sure. Muggsy's like the elder statesman of the little guy club. Him and Spud are like the president and vice president. That's right. Cowboy saying, I didn't get a chance to hear the Cowboy Skillet tune. What are you talking about? You hadn't heard the Skillet song? It's like number 1 on the radio. It's been playing all week. The Cowboy and the Skillet. They went down to Dallas and killed it with Pascal, Scotty, and OG. We told them they're in trouble. They didn't listen. Now their town's in rubble. It's the Cowboy and the Skillet and me. Oh, yeah. The lyrics change every time, though. Cowboy, just so you know. There's alternate versions. David saying, how Ron Harper Jr.'s shot looking? Has there been any development, or is it still looking like an Olympic shot put attempt? That's pretty funny because that's valid. That's fair. He shoots very forward. I when I coach people, I tell them to come up high with the ball, hold it above your head, and push up. But no, this guy's pushing horizontal, and he's pushing away from his face. Is the way Ron Harper likes to shoot. It's ugly. It's not the best mechanics, but it works for him. So in some ways, whatever's working for you, Ron, do it. But yeah, it's an ugly shot mechanic for sure, David. For sure. He likes to push it away from his face and very horizontal and not enough Big Chief Robert Parrish arc that we like to see on a shot that's got a higher chance to go in. So in some ways, you're right. If you just push the ball up a little higher, Ron Harper Jr., on your arc, you may get a higher shooting percentage. Stop shooting line drives at the front of the rim. How about that? How about that? I'll say that's a valid criticism of him, David. And yeah, it is a little bit like a shot put, a little bit like a shot put. Tom Duke saying, I would be a bump on the log if I joined you again, but I can crash a Lexathon. Can't wait to see how cool the court is for the play-in tournament game. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm so excited for that game. We're going to be there for history, Tom. History. The first ever in-season tournament game. I try to go to historic games for the Raptors in Canada. I went to the first WNBA game in Toronto earlier this year. I was at the first finals game at the Scotiabank Arena in 2019 when we beat the Golden State Warriors in game 1 of the finals. You know, I like to be there for firsts. And well, this first game at the in-season tournament, yeah, I want to be there. I'm going to be there with you, Tommy. That's right. That's right. I can't wait. Bam, bam. David Saborn's going to be there too. Bam, 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 bam. Bam. Cowboy's saying true, Tom. These courts are like a video game. They're almost too distracting. I mean, there's distracting to the TV viewer because you're watching and you're like, holy crap, holy 80s pastel Valley Girl motif. Holy crap, what is this shit? You fucking got some jelly bracelets or something back there too, or something? I don't know. In some ways, it's more distracting to the viewer than it is the player on the court because the perception. You see, we're looking down on the court and it's so bright. Well, they're playing, they're looking ahead. The court is underneath them. So in some ways, it's not as distracting to them on the court. But it could be kind of weird with the extra lane in the middle. Like the lines there's extra lines and extra graphics on it and a little bit more color than usual. And I wonder if it does affect the players in any kind of degree. It's very, very distracting court in some ways. It is. It is. It's on TV to the viewer. It's very distracting. And I wonder how distracting it is to play on also. It's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Video game courts. Yeah. Yeah. Like hit the like button. Yeah. Mr. Mountain Standard Time. Seymour Pape is in the house. We like to see Mr. Seymour. Ta-da. Ta-da. Services. It's a beautiful day outside. Maybe there's things you need done around your house, but you need help. You're just one man. You're just one woman. You're just one person. And you need help. You can call Ta-da Services. They're in social media places. You can find them and they'll come into your house and they'll literally be that extra help you need. So call Bradley. He's at work right now, TGIFing, and he can come help you on a Friday afternoon, a sunny Friday afternoon in Toronto if you need a job done. That's right. So Duke Rocks is here, our Raptorfreak fantasy champion from last year, Mr. Duke Rocks. Love to see you, Jason. I hope you're doing very, very well. How is that Vince Carter Tar Heels jersey that you got last year? That's right. He's saying we have lost the free throw battle in 7 of our 8 games. So far, I've never seen Darko work the officials. Is this a necessary skill for a head coach? Well, all right, Jason. Let's break this down. All right, we have not shot well at free throws this year. That is true. And it is something that we really do need to concentrate on and clean up and get better. I agree with this. There's certain guys that shoot good free throws normally that have not shot good free throws this year, like Gary Trent Jr. So hopefully these guys get better with the free throws, get more concentrating, and really take them seriously more and more as the season goes on. So I will agree. That's a really good criticism. Now, this other one about Darko and the officials, I've actually seen him working the officials. Yeah, he's been working them. He did get a technical because of standing up for Scotty already this season. Scotty went to the basket and he got an and one, but they didn't call the foul. They just let him get the basket. He landed the layup, but they didn't whistle him. And he got hit when he went there. And Darko stood up for him. He got a technical for yelling at the ref for not giving him the and one foul. So there have been instances where we've seen him interact with the refs where he's gotten in trouble with them. And I like the thing about the last game with the challenges, this is funny what he said after the game that I didn't get to say yesterday because I didn't get to see it, is he wanted to give that chain, the chain that he gave OG after the Dallas game, to his assistant coach, Vin. Vin Bagnani is in charge of determining whether we should do the challenge or not. And he said he did so good with those rapid fire challenges near the end of the Dallas game that he wanted to give him the chain for giving us 2 successful challenges so quickly in the game like that. You know, that's awesome. And I love that he said that. But that's the thing. Like, in some ways, I don't know if there's any criticism of Darko as pertaining to interacting with the refs, because part of it is we haven't seen enough of a sample size. And from what I've seen so far, he's engaged. He's personable. He's not going to be like Nick, where he's like yelling at them and looking all butthole facey. He's more likely to try and smooth things with them, like diplomatically. like a politician would. But there may be times where we see Darko absolutely livid and going off and yelling and throwing things. Maybe that happens at some point. We'll have to see. We'll have to see where his demeanor, the ranges of the spectrum are. In some ways, I could see him being a very angry coach and getting pissed off and getting tossed from a game at some point. I'd like to see that, honestly, because in some ways, you want to see how fiery your coach can get and how passionate they really care. And sometimes when I see a coach flip out and they're really angry with the refs, I gain more respect for them. So if this happens with Darko anytime in the season, I'll be very, very pleased by it. So we'll have to see. Alley oop to David. You want to alley oop to David, Cowboy? All right, we can give David an alley oop. David is funny. David is dry and dark and funny. Yeah, let's see. Mo's saying, David, I think you're hating on Ron. Stop. That's right, he is. And Monique is a big supporter for Ron Harper Jr., and so am I. And I'm just sick of y'all kicking the man down just because he's one of the lower guys on our ranking of our players and stuff. Let's just be nice to Ron. Nurturing and encouraging and not demeaning and insulting. How about that? I'm with Cowboy. I'm with Monique and Cowboy on this one. Stargate saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. I, too, am very, very disappointed in McDaniels. Thought he would be much better, especially defensively. Very disappointing. Why? What's the point? There's so much bright, sunny things around the Raptors. Let's give Jalen a chance to just be in the shadows and not do well right now, and he'll emerge and he'll have his chances in the season to do really amazing, good things for us. In some ways, once again, let's not put our focus on dark spots around our team. Let's really look at the bright spots like Scotty, things like with Dennis fitting in so well, and Pascal exploding in the last game. There's so much better things to talk about than maybe that McDaniels is having a little bit of tough time getting rotation minutes and hitting his shot. I mean, that's really what it is right now. Darko's sitting him a little bit, and he hasn't hit his shot recently. And otherwise, I mean, he's been good on defense. He's got blocked shots. I think he's been fine on defense. I don't think he's been that horrible. And once again, he's a totally new player, and he's got to orient himself with new teammates and a new system. So in some ways, his learning curve's a little bit more steeper than Siakam or Barnes, you know. So Fiercely saying Darko is saving a spot for OG in his assistant coach roster. He'll need to wait, though. OG is still young. He's just saying that, yeah, he could be a coach. Like, I like that because in some ways he really gives us a new light to look at OG in a different way. I mean, I never thought of OG ever becoming a coach. I just thought his personality wasn't kind of that way. But you know what? If Darko sees merit in him because of the way he prepares himself for defensive assignments and that his scouting is amazing, yeah, I believe Darko if he believes this and he thinks this. So I like it. It fleshes out the character of OG and what he's all about a little bit more. You learn more about him from him saying that. David's saying, no, just asking if his shot has gotten any better. I love RHJ. See, David and I had a discussion at the Australia game with Carnes Typins. And we were saying, why are we going neg? Let's just be nice and just love our guys. And he had an epiphany. He said, I'm going to stand up for Malachi now. And he's been doing it since. So I appreciate David doing that. In some ways, he did kick Ron a lot last year. He did. And Monique's a little sensitive to that, I think, still at this point. Cowboy's saying he will come around, Stargate. That's right. They can't all be up at the same time. And so, in fact, some ways you want different guys coming up and down at different times just because you may need somebody. Like if we're in trouble with Gary or somebody's not playing well, God forbid we have injuries, Jalen McDaniels' number will be called, and we need him to maybe start succeeding better in those places. I don't think he's been that bad, y'all. I mean, where's the like, what do we lose with trying him out? He doesn't make 3 shots. We bench him for the second half. He doesn't get any more minutes. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. He's not hurting our team. It's just that we want him to get going, kickstart him and get going a little bit better. I get that. But it really isn't something to nitpick about. Like, it really, really isn't. It really isn't. Let's see. Yeah, David's saying, let's hope Cowboy will come around. Yeah, I think Jalen will. He's just too talented and good. He's going to come around. He feels more comfortable on the team, and he feels more like a part of it in weird play, meshing. He'll be better. He'll be better. You guys is right now. It's like sometimes you just have a slow start to the season, and that's common with a lot of players. Monique is saying Christian Siakam is still on the 905 staff. Lex, okay, good. I was hoping he was. I thought he was, but I wasn't for sure. I didn't want to assume anything. Right? MSJ saying I have a feeling that Barnes wants Gradey out there and the coaches know he is the key to what the team is trying to do. He's got to learn how to play off Barnes. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think that that's true, and that is what's going to happen. Barnes and Gradey are going to get to cultivate a really good working relationship. And it's going to be the kind of thing where like Barnes is going to know in the back of his head where Gradey is behind him in the corner, and he can just turn around, fire the ball over to him, and boom, he's hitting a three. So there's going to be stuff like that for sure. Barnes has no power over them telling him, "Oh, you can't send Gradey to 905." Yeah, I mean, come on, he can't. There's no way that they give Scotty that kind of power. Like, hey, Darko, you can't send Gradey to 905. You're not allowed to. Why, Scotty? Because I said so. No, there's nothing like that, Chris. Come on. Cool Cat saying Christian Siakam is a Raptors 905 assistant coach. He is developing as a coach that will be beneficial to Cameroon's basketball development via the PS43 Foundation. The only reason why I question it is because I saw a list of the coaches for the 905 that I can't find now yesterday, and he wasn't on that list. That's the only reason why I question this. I believe he's still there. It may be that list is just old or incomplete or something stupid. That's the only reason why I was wondering. I've seen Christian Siakam at games recently, sitting over near Dennis's family over in the 101 section. 110, section 110. He was sitting behind Dennis's family on one of their clips on YouTube recently. Did you catch that, Monique? They show Ellen in the stands with Junior, and they're filming, and sitting behind them, Siakam's brother, Christian, sitting right behind them. Okay, good. I'm glad that he's still involved in this. And this is really good reason why. Cool Cat's, this is awesome because he wants to get better. And in some ways, Siakam was saying this. There's another clip I saw this week that's funny. They did a Price is Right clip again. How much are things? And they did the tickets for the games. And they were guessing how much an obstructed view seat up on the 300 level was. And then when they found out how much it was, they were like, that's crazy. And then we saw how much a courtside seat is. That's crazy. And then they asked him how much the basketball net and the whole apparatus with the shot clock is. And they're trying to guess. And Siakam says this. He says, I need to buy some of these in Africa soon because I need to build some courts over there. So I really am interested to find out how much this goal is, the basket and everything. And they're like wondering what it is. And you know how much one of those baskets at the Scotiabank Arena is? $90,000, over $90,000. And Gary and them were like, that's overpriced. You could buy a scoreboard. You could do so much more with that money and not just have just a basket and a shot clock. So the two ends of the court, there's like $200,000 worth of equipment between the two baskets. And it's funny, some of the Raptors are like, man, Shaq's a bad man for wrecking that backboard. But Siakam was pricing these backboards for stuff that he wants to build in Africa. So that was pretty interesting clip, the Price is Right clip that came out recently. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Go find it. It's recent. It's very good. It's very good. It's interesting. It says a lot about like the prices. And there's like a Louis Vuitton bag that's like $18,000 or something. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, anything to get better for basketball in Africa and Cameroon, Giants of Africa, all that kind of stuff is awesome. And I love that Siakam's really building the sport there too, like Masai. Rapslove is saying to me right now, let's see what he's saying. It jumped right when I was about to read it. Rapslove is here. No. Scotty wants Siakam, OG, and the winning players out there. This team wants to win. It's not about feelings. That's right. Let's give us our best chance to win. So put those winning players out there. I'm with you, Rapslove. Duke Rock's saying Siakam, Powell, Fred VanVleet, Boucher, Flynn have played in 905. There's no slight when the goal is development in reps. Yeah, I'm totally with Jason on this. That's why, I mean, look at the proven track record of Siakam, Jakob, Fred, Norman, DeLon, Chris Boucher. In some ways, these guys are all major pros right now, and they're bona fide, and they're there. Why can't we do this? It seems like the development wave that led into our championship was buoyed by putting DeLon, Jakob, Fred, and Pascal, and all them down there. Seriously, there was like a wave of development that kind of came with those guys winning the G League championship, and then whoop, bench mob, whoop, NBA championship, 2019. So I'm saying this partly because I want to mimic that. Send Grady, Christian, as many youngsters down there so they get a class together like Jakob, Pascal, and Fred were. And then boom, maybe we got a championship in the next 2 or 3 years because of that wave of development coming up from the G League. I would love to mimic the success we've already had. And that's part of how we did it before. So don't be afraid to send guys to 905 because that was a key to how we won our first championship. You can't have an amazing bench like we did in the championship year without Fred and Jakob and Pascal doing 905. You just can't. And when did Jakob get drafted? He was a top 10 draft pick. And boom, he played in 905. No problem. No ego. He went down there and played. That's what I'm saying, y'all. We want to win championships. You send your players to 905 and get them developed. It's a proven track record with our own franchise. Let's see. Yeah, Raps Love saying Gradey cannot go to the 905. He has a one-way contract. That's not true. That's not true. Rookies are eligible to go to the 905. And so are second-year players. That he doesn't have to have a two-way. Any of those young players are allowed to go there. Seriously. So Grady is allowed to go there. Yeah, Cool Cat saying Jakob also played in 905. That's right. That's right. Let's grow 905. That's right, Cowboy. MSJ saying, I don't think there is a thing wrong with players going to 905. I just think the players know they have to fast track Grady. They need outside shooting. So best to meld with the big team now. I can't disagree with this philosophy also, but I think that you can do both at the same time. I really do think you can. It's just different modes. When Grady is on the regular roster, he does what he's doing now. But when he goes down there, he's a focal point and he really takes like 20 shots and he gets a whole bunch of real-time game experience at a lower level to absolutely kill them. I want to see him go down there and drop like 40 points on a G League team. Seriously. In some ways, he goes down there and drops 40 points on a G League team. I'm like, okay, he doesn't have to be down there anymore. That competition does not serve him anymore because it's below him. And that's what I want these guys to do. In some ways, that's what you have to do when you go to G League is show I don't belong here because I am way better than anything here. And, that's what Fred and Jakob and Siakam all proved. And then they got up to the regular roster. So in some ways, we need Grady to do the same damn thing. That's what I'm saying. Kareem's saying, I got great expectations for the 905. If that water scientist teacher head coach can't bring them to the promised land, we need to send him back to teachers college. All right, Kareem, you are ridiculously funny. You just called him a water scientist teacher, Eric Khoury. That is kind of hilarious, honestly. He's like a rocket scientist or something. He has a really high level PhD in some sort of science. And he is not a normal kind of like basketball person. It's very strange. He's like a rocket scientist, I think. Seriously. I don't know exactly. But yeah, that's a funny comment. And I do want to see him do better. But yeah, don't send him to teachers college. All right, Stargate saying at Cowboy, I believe he will come around as well. He is definitely capable of playing better. That's for sure. Yeah, see, that's all, Stargate. Let's just give him patience, Jalen McDaniels. The guy's talented. We can see his brother's blowing up in Minnesota, and we're going to look at his brother. Well, there's some chances of him being more and more like his brother. That would be good. That would be real, real good, and a very solid player to have on our team. Cowboys saying, yeah, it's still early. Yeah, Raptors are stacked. That's right. He's going to have his moments. I bet you Jalen McDaniels will have huge moments for the Raptors by the end of this year that'll make everybody like, wow, I'm really glad we got him this year. It's just right now, not everybody can shine all at the same time. Different guys are going to shine at different times of the year. And we need to allow for that natural flow of who's coming in and shining and who's coming out and, that kind of stuff. So it's just not his time right now. But his time will come. Trust me. Tom Duke saying holiday in a Raptors game in Mexico City sounds fun. Vamonos, Raptoros. Yeah, see, look at Tom's like all about watching a Raptors game in Mexico and getting a Mexico vacation and going to watch the Raptors at the same time. Yeah, he's all about that. Raps Love saying McDaniels will come around to new system, new country, new everything. Let the man breathe. That's right. Let's just give him a little bit of time. That's all. David saying, when are we playing in Mexico City? That'd be sick. We're not this year. No, we're not. And this was a special international game just for the Hawks and Magic. I believe they're playing 2 games there. They may be playing there again, like tomorrow, I think. I'm not totally sure. Cool Cat saying, I was surprised Banchero does not play defense. I watched the Magic versus Hawks game hosted in Mexico. Ooh, this is good intel. So Paulo's not playing solid defense. He's lazy on that side. He's very offensive oriented player. Brian Windhurst. This may be the thing that will delineate and separate our young Wayne Barnes over Paulo. Paulo's been touted as being a better player, a young player than Scotty. Well, if he doesn't have the other side of the ball like Scotty does, then he's not. I'm sorry, that's just clear cut and dry. If they can do everything the same on the offensive end, but the difference is that Scotty is an exemplary two-way player and Paulo is lazy on defense. Well, that beats him in the ranking right there. In fact, I got a ranking right now I want to share with you guys that I found. Somebody posted it. It's a ranking, the ranking of the rating of your points and who the top players in the league are. And we looked at this the other day, and Scotty was like 25th. Well, he rose up after the huge games against San Antonio and even that Dallas game with his stats that were very good stat stuff. And he's now 12th on this list, just below Giannis. So this is really incredible. We got Nikola, Joel, Luka, Tyrese, Steph Curry, Jason Tatum, SGA, Anthony Edwards, Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and then Scotty Barnes. 12th highest ranked best player in the NBA stat-wise right now by this rating. He is just above Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Davis, Tyrese Halliburton, Kristaps Porzingis, Alperen Sengun, Tobias Harris, Paul George, DeJounte Murray, LeBron James, Trae Young, Aaron Gordon, Domantas Sabonis, Bam Adebayo, Paolo Banchero at 26, Rudy Gobert, and guess who's at 28? Our guy Dennis Schroeder. So we got number 12 and number 28 of the top players statistically right now in the league, Scotty Barnes and Dennis Schroeder, number 28, highest ranked player in the league right now. So very, very interesting stuff. Paulo, you don't play defense? Well, I downgrade you underneath Scotty because Scotty plays defense. Yeah, good intel, Cool Cat. I can see that about Paulo. He's going to be a little bit lazy on the defensive side. I can see that. Stargate saying, I would love to see a team in Mexico City, but I don't think Silver will do it. He is not like Stern, who won an international field to the league. Silver seems to be the opposite, in my opinion. I don't read that at all. I don't. I think he is going to do it. I think he is, because in some ways it'll cause some really good balance between our team. In some ways, we don't want to be the only kid like we are. And I would encourage either another Canadian team to be added or Mexico City, because in some ways we're in a very detrimental one team out of 30 situation. And we need at least one other team that's in the same situation as us, because then we can kind of gauge how they're treating these two teams compared to the rest of the league better. In some ways, we're above it and we're surviving and thriving, even though we have so many detriments against us. If a newer team came in and they're started from scratch, you would have to see just how unfair the NBA is towards it. And then it may bring light and make things more fair for the Raptors by a byproduct. So in some ways, I really do want a team in Mexico City, and either there or Montreal. Those are the two cities that I would love to see. Obviously, Seattle and Las Vegas are getting teams soon, but Mexico City and Montreal should be very high on the list to put NBA teams in. I'm telling you, if there's 5 cities that need NBA teams, there's Seattle, Las Vegas, Mexico City, Montreal, and I don't know what the other city would be. It's random generic American city, or maybe Vancouver. We could put Vancouver on there as the 5th seed. So I don't know. Very interesting. I think Seal would do it. I think he would do it. I think Silver would do it. The fact that there's already a G League team in Mexico City right now, the Capitans, it is kind of portending that they do want to make a Mexico City NBA team. They're trying to see this market and if it's viable. And if they had a sellout and they did really good business last night with the game with the Magic and the Hawks, they probably will come to that market. Adam Silver's all about testing shit, and he's not waiting around just to test. Oh, I tested that 5 years ago, and then we'll come back. No, he's going to do it quickly. If I've seen anything, how he's making things like the play-in tournament and the in-season tournament come about, yeah, he's not afraid to make changes fast. And don't be surprised if he does try and put a team there. Seriously. David's saying, if you listen to what the media says about the one Canadian team, you can imagine what would happen with the team in Mexico. Oh, my God, it would be the end of the NBA. Yes, Cowboys laughing about. Well, that's what I'm saying. In some ways, we'd want to see it get really ugly and racist and messed up, just to maybe correct them and say, y'all are way out of pocket. And maybe this would be an indirect way of educating the United States and people around the world about Mexico and making them have a bit more fully realized a picture of what Mexico actually is instead of stereotypes. So in some ways, this could be very, very good for Mexico in a lot of ways, economically, and also in the way that people view that country overall. So in some ways, I'm very much supportive of an NBA team in Mexico for sure. For sure. Tom Duke is saying world champs might end up fit in the NBA. That's right. That's part of why he wants to do this too. If he wants more bragging rights to say that the NBA champion is a world champion, well, make your league more international. Make it more international. That's right. Cowboys saying, let's go Raptors. That's right. I'm excited about tonight with the Raptors 905 playing the Long Island Nets. Tom Duke saying Silver has a dream. You got him as an alien. You know, I like that. I'm gonna give you a dunk for that, Tom, because in some ways, yeah, I wonder about Adam Silver. He's a little bit weird. Like he could be a silver. That's what they call them, Adam Silver. Aren't they? What isn't that what they call? They're grays. They're called grays. Gray is a color similar to silver. Gray, you know, like they found in Mexico, right? They just had the press conference with the alien. Yeah, Adam Silver. Gray, yeah, silver and gray, very similar shades of color. Tom Duke saying, more realist, all about how to make more moolah. Yeah, you know, they want to exploit the market, burgeoning market of Mexico, get into that market. More t-shirts and hats sold, some seats sold out arena, novelty, more international. The travel isn't too horrible. Like seriously, you know, going to Mexico City is not horribly, horribly far away. It is a little bit further, but in some ways it's not that far from Sacramento. It's not that far from Golden State and the LA teams in Phoenix. So in some ways it makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, Duke Rock's saying Dame did not play in that Bucks game. Yeah, he didn't play in the game. They needed him. They needed him. That's an interesting thing too. Are they load managing him? Is he hurt? I don't care. I didn't go research it. I'm just wondering, why is Dame already sitting games out so early? Was it a back-to-back situation? What was going on there? Fiercely saying anything Sportsnet, Aaron Rose, other clickbaiters I've stopped following, and because of the algorithm, they no longer pop up on my timeline. There you go. It's the same for me. I just started muting major, like a lot of Twitter accounts. There's very few people on Twitter I'm following it right now. They're Raptors related, and they're very just the facts kind of people, like Josh Lewenberg, Grange. I still follow Grange just because they really are the two most informative guys for TSN and Sportsnet. And then Karthika, I love her stats. They're absolutely amazing. She may be my favorite person to follow on Twitter. Is just the way she puts out these factoids all the time. You're awesome. TSN's Karthika. We love you. I'm going to have to do a Share the Love Club for you at some point. Seriously, you're going to get one of those, Karthika, for your amazing factoids. I love you. I love you so much. Let's see. Kareem saying, why is Isaiah Thomas not in the league right now? Well, Lord Thomas is very old. He's retired. No, wait. I know you mean Isaiah Thomas. Well, we saw him at Rico, and he was doing really well, and he really is trying to get in the league. I don't know. There may be some underlying weird thing where they, blackballed him out. They do this to players all the time. Certain players just get like tainted, and they're like, you know what? We don't want you in the league anymore for some reason or whatever. Maybe he said something. Maybe he rubbed somebody the wrong way, something like that. I don't know. Maybe he just isn't good enough. He just isn't good enough to be in the league at this point. Some people say he is good enough. He should be in the league. He says that himself, but the spot isn't there for him. We've seen a couple guys trying to get spots this year that didn't get them. Serge Ibaka, we see where's Kemba Walker. He's playing in Europe right now. So it's just that way. It's a cutthroat league, and in some ways, you got to play the game that they want you to play. And if you don't play the game they want you to play, well, they can say adios, Josh Howard. Yeah, they can say adios real quick. Yeah, that's a name you haven't heard in a while because he got blackballed out of the league. Josh Howard. You remember Dallas Mavericks? Yeah. This happens all the time. And I don't know. Maybe there's some underlying reason why Isaiah Thomas is not on an NBA team. Tristan Phipps is here. Good to see Raptors admin. Laugh out loud. It does look like a shot put. And when he shoots it like this, it's like that is not fundamentally good. Like I tell young kids, if I teach them how to shoot, don't push it forward. It's like, where are you going? You're going to go to the pole. You're going to go to the bottom of the backboard. You want to get that arc up. It's all physics and geometry. You get a higher up in the air, it has a better angle to go into the hoop. You're shooting straight forward. You have more of an angle to hit that front of the rim and brick it right into your face. It's just fundamentals. It's just fundamental shooting strategy. And Ron Harper, it's ugly. It's ugly. It's like you're mixing something. It's like you're doing the celebration that Siakam and Boucher do at the beginning of the game, drinking the tea, is what your shot looks like to me. It looks like you're drinking the tea with Boucher and Pascal. Like, oh, drink the tea, I'm shooting, you know, it looks the same thing to me in some ways. Yeah. Cool Cat saying, I realized Coach Darko prefers drives and threes, not much mid-range shots. Then I realized that was Grizzlies mode while he was there. You know, the whole league hates mid-range at this point. The analytics have shown that the mid-range is stupid. And so many people are just making it the gospel. Nate Bjorngren and Nick, very much so. And Darko to a lesser extent. But he talked about this after the game in Dallas, saying that, you know, Siakam has a really good mid-range game that we need to utilize still. That it's like we can't tell them don't ever take mid-range shots like Nick did last year, which was stupid. You know, they're there, and that's what we're getting. In some ways, it's stupid to just say no more mid-range shots, team. Like, why do you tell your team to do that? Like, it's like, okay, you just have a zone in the middle of the floor that if you take a shot, we're gonna get mad at you. That's dumb. Sometimes the defense has to force you to take mid-range shots. There's a game recently where they really weren't hitting threes, and they packed the paint on us. So the best shots we had for us were mid-range because the threes weren't dropping. And they just stacked every one of their defenders down around the paint in the basket. Well, the mid-range is open then. You got to go where it's open. So anybody who's saying don't go shoot mid-range at all, that's stupid. That is not good coaching philosophy. And that's one of the things I hated about Nick and Nate is they're anti-mid-range. Well, Darko admitted after the game in his press conference that I'm okay with Siakam taking mid-range shots. We kind of try and get people not to take them. And it is the philosophy you're talking about, Cool Cat, for sure. But he's allowances for it. And with Siakam specifically, that, you know, it's dumb. You need the mid-range. It's one of the places where you need to shoot from. And sometimes in basketball philosophy, the mid-range is the antidote to fix your offense. And you need to go there. If you're hurting on the three-point line because you're not making any of them, and they are absolutely stacking it up around the basket, you need to go mid-range. You just need to go mid-range. That's the only option you got. You got to go get it. That's right. Stargate saying the Little Guy Club, Muggsy, Spud, Earl, Boykins, Jose Barea. That's another one. Yeah. Michael Adams. That's an old school one. Yeah. Markquis Nowell, Alvarado. Yeah. The Little Guys Club. That's right. In some ways, this has been a subject recently. It's like guys like Markquis, they have no place in the league anymore. No, wait a second. People are saying, why do you have a 5'6" guy in the league or even on our roster in any kind of way? Brian Windhurst. Where is this young man from France named Victor Wembanyama just showed up? He's 7'4". He's 2 feet taller than Markquis Nowell. Well, you know what? Superman had kryptonite as a thing that hurt him. Well, maybe the kryptonite for a big man like Wembanyama or Chet Holmgren is a little guy like Markquis Nowell. Seriously, those big guys, they dribble. Woo! The little quick guy comes and just like Muggsy used to, scoops that ball up. That could be the thing that evens it out. It's kind of like there's like a pattern to survival in the food chain. The food chain goes around. Like these animals, the big animals eat the little animals. Then the medium animals eat the smaller animals. The smaller animals eat the plants. The plants live from the nutrients. Well, something kills that big animal. And in some ways, I think the little guys in this league may be the antidote for Wembanyama. So in some ways, it may be absolutely necessary to have Nowell coming up in our farm system because he may be one of the antidotes for these really long-ass, tall, crazy-ass players. Now, people say, that doesn't really make sense, Lex. Well, it does if you think about it because some people have brought this up on this channel already, that those little guys can come in there, scoop these tall-ass guys if they're trying to dribble stuff. So in some ways, I'm going to make the argument that the very, very tiny players may be the antidote for the very, very tall players. We'll have to see. In some ways, there's always a weird balancing out of things. And in some ways, the little may be the thing that balances out the very, very long, tall, new generation. We'll have to see. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, I think the new court designs, etc., are geared towards casual fans, TV viewing. Increased viewership of casual fans is the goal. I listen to True Hoop podcast, YouTube, David Thorpe. Oh, you're listening to David Thorpe, huh? Is that a take of his? Yeah, I'm always suspicious of Masai's old friend, David. Yeah, especially after the dumpster fire he started for us. Even though he was right and he was trying to warn us, I still don't trust that guy. And in some ways, he's still Alton Brown's weird cousin to me. All right. That's a cynical take. I'll say that's just a cynical take, and it may be that David Thorpe's just a cynical person, but yeah, I think that's very cynical. I think that in some ways having a fresh look to the league is awesome, and it's really working. I mean, it does give an extra special feel to these games that are going to be played tonight with the new courts and the higher stakes. So I think it's being very successful, and in some ways, I get it. They do want to increase viewership, that's for sure. But I don't think there's any reason to hate on what they're doing or think that it's a negative thing or anything like that. I think this is good for the league. And I like the courts. I like the whole thing they're doing. I don't think that any of it is stupid or like, yeah, everything about the NBA is a money grab. Of course. Of course. Everything is. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not so cynical about it as far as I think it's awesome. Let's see. Wayne's saying it's a testament to our player skill set that we could make significant adjustments to halt possible losing streak due to learning our new players' strategies. We have adjusted, and thanks to our coaches. Yeah, I like how quickly they're listening to Darko and they understand him so that they can make the adjustments to win these games recently. That in some ways that is a really good thing that they're taking and listening to him and trusting him and they're getting good results like coming back and winning against San Antonio. That builds trust between a coach and his players. When he does a halftime speech and he says, "Guys, you want to lose, you can lose, but if you want to win, I'll tell you how to do it." And they listen to him and then they go out and they do it, that really builds a lot of good cohesion and trust between the players and the coach. And that's part of it. And then you add in these guys are high IQ. They really kind of understand dynamics. They can learn quickly and on the fly in the middle of the game. I mean, Nick said that about this team for the last couple of years already. They're smart and he can give them new wrinkles really quickly and they'll pick up on it and do it very fast. Scotty in particular. You don't have to teach him too many times. He'll get it. He'll get it real quick. And even Gradey, for such a young guy, 19 years old, his aptitude's really high. And I'm sure it doesn't take long for them to understand what they're trying to tell them to do, and they just do it. So there's a lot of that that's it's kind of fast tracking with the Raptors in some ways that people don't realize. Other teams may take longer. Their players may be dumber. They may not trust their coach as much as we trust ours. And it may take longer for them to actually get to these kind of places. So I like this, Wayne. I agree. I think that our adjustments on our feet are pretty good so far. That is something that I'm worried about with the difference between Nick and Darko is are we going back to like Dwayne Casey and having a guy who doesn't adjust very quickly on the fly? No, Darko adjusts on the fly. And the other thing I love about it is he's not above reproach. You know, if there's something not working and somebody speaks up to him, he'll listen to them and he'll actually try and do it probably. So in some ways, it's a hive mind, and the coach is taking suggestions. He has a suggestion box, whether it's from the assistant coaches or the players. So there you go. I like that aspect about Darko. He's very much said that he's taking opinions and ideas from other people and changing things. Like Stad could tell him something that he thinks that he should do. He'll listen to him. He'll listen to him. Let's see. Cool Cat saying David Thorpe on his True Hoop podcast YouTube said the Adam Silver wants the NFL type broadcast where it teaches basketball to help the casual fan. I hope it will help with the social media negativity. I've heard rumblings of this too, and I think it's a great idea. I mean, this is what it was before. It's just we've gotten into this tabloid bullshit, and I think this is a great refocus if Adam Silver is directing the league to be like that again. There's been too much bullshit. They need to cut some of these personalities that aren't actually basketball people that talk X's and O's, that they're more concerned about personalities and drama and those kind of things. They need to cut those guys out, cut those people out, and get back to people like Hubie Brown and things like that. I'm totally with this. If this is a movement that Adam Silver is trying to do, I support it, and hopefully it will clean up some of the negativity and the extraneous bullshit. I'm sure everybody would love that. The NBA, the players, the fans, even though some of the fans are the problem here in some ways. Cool Cat saying, Coach Darko, welcome to the Raptors. Basketball over the border where the whistle does not exist. Well, I don't know if that's totally true. Listen, I get it. We do get an unfair whistle, but so does Milwaukee. Obviously, they're getting unfair whistles lately. They really are. So I don't think it's just because we're across the border. I think that there's small market teams that get the shaft all the time. And we're not really a small market team, but we are the Canadian team. So we do get that shaft in certain ways. But yeah, Darko knows what he's gotten into, and he's navigating it very well. And we're going to steal wins and get more wins than everybody expects. Watch. MSJ saying, geez, McDaniels is an issue for people. Why? Boucher took his minutes, and I think the competition is why we are seeing prime Boucher right now. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a semi-rotation. There's somebody who's going to be an odd man out every night between Otto, Chris, and Jalen, and that's good. That's the way it should be. That's the way it garners competition. It's a revolving door, so these guys don't feel like it'd be much worse if you just said, "Chris, you're my guy," and Otto and Jalen never got to play. So in some ways, it's like you allow for cultivating development and the carrot in front of people because they actually have a door to go through to get in. It was like Nick. It would be like you're just in or out. And in some ways, that revolving door of not having the same 10-man rotation every time is really, really good for getting guys to play better. Let's just put it that way. Like McDaniels, you don't like having a DMP? Okay, next time you get called, go out there and be gangbusters. And then he'll be like, I can't not play him. That's Otto gets it. Otto gets it. Otto goes out there, plays solid, hits some shots, plays well. He's continuing to get to play because he's playing at a high level and he's playing well. That's the thing. A vet like Otto gets it. Jalen McDaniels will get it at some point too. Chris understands. He understands. He doesn't like sitting. He hates having to sit, but it's motivating him and we're getting good things out of him also. Yeah, I'm with this. I'm like, let's not nitpick so much, guys. McDaniels will get his time. Kukat's saying Coach Darko said he met with OG in Atlanta where he expressed his game expansion on-ball handling, playmaking, drives to the rim. It aligns somewhat with previous stories in relation to growth opportunities. All right, you're alluding to Jake Fisher. Kukat, you're really dubious to me. In some ways, I get it. Maybe like we have different mindsets. And in some ways, I try to look at the positives and stuff. But yeah, sometimes dragging up Jake Fisher or something like this, or these rumors about OG, they're just not worth it. In some ways, you're kind of helping the other side. I don't think OG has been unhappy at all. And I think that he's okay with the growth and the pace that he's been growing with our team. And he's seeing results and he's allowed to get into these places. So the whole criticisms from the last couple of years about OG wanting a bigger role or not doing this or not doing that, it's all bullshit because he gets everything he wants. There's not been anything where OG's not getting his chances to do what he wants to do. In some ways, he needs to just do it within what the game presents to him. And if he's trying too hard to go take more, it's going to look awkward and it's not going to work. So the way he's doing things right now is great. We are seeing new little wrinkles get developed in front of us. Like there was a little bit of going off the dribble, like dribbling towards the basket the last game. He was definitely attacking the rim. I don't mind him if he has an open lane to go and attack the rim like he was against Dallas. It's just more when he's got a defender on him and he's trying to hold somebody off and he's dribbling at the same time. That's a bad situation. That's a bad situation. And even if he thinks he has a future with that or he wants to try and cultivate that, I wouldn't try and develop that. I really, really wouldn't. I think that his game is very, very good in all kinds of other areas. That to go through the folly of how many turnovers and how unsuccessful that's going to be, and it has been his whole career so far, it's not worth it to me. We've got other guys on the team that can do that, like Siakam and Barnes. And in some ways, whenever OG picks up his dribble with a guy on him, I hate that. I hate that so much because I'm going to see him either dribble it off his foot. He may bump into the guy and the guy falls over and it's offensive charge. There's all kinds of ways that OG having the ball in his hands to go and attack the rim off the dribble is folly. And there's way more room for error than him being successful in some ways. Now, you're kind of not giving the guy a chance. No, we've given him tons of chances over his 6 or 7 year career at this point. And in some ways, that area of his game it's a fail in some ways. And I don't like it. And I think he's so good as a catch and shoot 3-point shooter. He's so good at bully ball around the basket, post up stuff that we don't need him standing out by the 3-point line, trying to go off the dribble and attacking the rim with the defender on him. If he's wide open and he gets the ball and he can go in a straight lane, sure. But otherwise, I don't like the idea of him being more of a ball handler. In some ways, it's not a good idea. He gets turnover prone. In some ways, it's because OG's slower than Scotty and Siakam. He just doesn't have the same kind of quickness. He's very plodding and methodical. And in some ways, that is a problem because they can come and steal the ball from him if he puts the ball on the floor. He puts the ball on the floor, Khoury comes and just takes it from him. So I don't like this idea. And even if he wants to go in that direction, for me personally, I don't think it's a good idea. But if they think it is and they can develop it and they do that, sure. I mean, listen, they're listening to OG and they're like, yeah, what do you want to do, OG? I think OG's expanding his game right before us and in different ways than necessarily that. He's definitely a different player than last year right now. He is. He's more overpowering on defense than ever. And his offensive game is super efficient and super, super like good. And in some ways, I don't want to mess with that by trying to do more with that way because it'll add more turnovers and more missed shots and not as efficient. He's so efficient right now. Why screw with it? Why screw with it is what I'm saying. Cowboys saying, gotta go later, Lex and Freaks. Bam. One more song for the Raptor Freak family. Skinny Fabulous, Michelle Montano, Bungie Garland, Famile. Big tune. Let's grow. All right. He's got a playlist. I mean, Bradley, if you got a playlist, you can share it with us. We can go look at it. David Saborn saying he's not an issue. I was just super excited for him during the summer. Yeah, just give him time. Give him some time and he'll be fine, David. I think he'll be fine indeed. Yes, I do. All right, hang on. Mo's saying, great spreadsheet, Lex. You know I love them. Your own perspective on the new draft format. It's Friday, so expect Dennis on the Raptors show. That's right. We'll probably have a Dennis interview somewhere today since they're in Boston. I'm hearing the news that the NBA is going to expand the draft to 2 days. They're going to be like the NFL. Instead of trying to cram the 2 rounds of the NBA in one night, which does make it a late night, you can get into those later rounds. It's after midnight. They're going to do the first round on one night and the second round on a second night. I think that just makes sense. Give these guys their moment to shine. And even in the second night, you could have the players come and be a part of it. We don't often see the second rounders come to the draft and get their name called and go and stand with the commissioner or the deputy commissioner. So I think this is great. I think this is good for people that are old and want to go to sleep earlier on the draft night. So yeah, put it on 2 nights. I think it's a good change, and and there's nothing wrong with this. Once again, I think this is a good thing that they're going to make it a 2-day draft. I think it's smart. Cool Cat saying we found out our Raptors players are price conscious with their money. Laugh out loud. Yeah, that was a really cool clip. The Price is Right, and yeah, they think the prices for the games are ridiculous too. They said it themselves. The Raptors saw the prices for the Raptors games, and they're like, that is crazy. That is crazy, is what they were saying. David's saying this was the comment Cowboys sent the dunk for. It was missed. He's saying, fam, I've been thinking we're going to have to start ordering food for Lex in the mornings. He starts at 9:15 and goes for 3 or 4 hours. When does that man eat? You know what I do, David? Before I start the chat, I drink water and I eat like a Nature's Valley, like a peanut butter bar. So that's enough that's just in my stomach. And then as soon as I'm done, I go and eat an apple and I drink my juice. So, and then I have a lunch shortly after that. So I appreciate that. I really am trying to cut things down. Like I'm going to try and be done by two hours. But yeah, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour streams is really kind of the format I'm naturally going into at this point. Now, on days where there's much more to talk about, 3 hours is just what it is. And, listen, maybe I'm going against the algorithm and YouTube best policies to get most viewers and shit, making 5-minute clips for Raptors Today now. Fuck all that shit. Some people like the long form. And some people like the long radio show format of my show in the morning because they know it's very thorough and they're getting a lot of Raptors information every single day. So, you guys can be a little tidbit things. Some of us old heads like to not have to click on 10 or 12 different little 5-minute clips to see a whole fucking playlist or something. They just want to click on 1 3-hour clip. Boom, you got me. There you go. So then we like variety. And I'm not trying to fit any YouTube algorithms to get higher clicks or more followers or fucking any of that bullshit. They have all these YouTube channels on how to make your YouTube channel more money and how to make more followers and shit. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I do what I do on this channel and I ain't changing. You Raptors today, you guys want to change y'all's format to try and go in the algorithm and the YouTube bullshit. You go ahead, but it ain't going to be me. I'll tell you some of those clips from the Raptors Today crew, their faces are so hilarious in the little clips that you can tell they're really buying into the YouTube algorithm theories. Like put Paul Jones on there with a shit-eating grin, like, hey, like Randy Urban looking like a goof, hey, on their little 5-minute clips now that they do. I wish y'all were still a half hour or 15 minutes instead of breaking up the shows in the little 5-minute clips. What the fuck is that? You're making me click extra just to fucking watch your show. Like you put it in 3 parts. 3 5-minute parts now? What the fuck is that, Akil Augustine? Seriously, give us the long form version also. Put it all together in one. I don't want to click 3 times and watch stupid ads over and over again because you made it 5-minute clips. That's just a little gripe I have right now. I don't like the new format Raptors Today. And your stupid little 5-minute snippets. And your dumb shit-eating grins on there. Hey, Sherman Hamilton looks so uncomfortable smiling like that. That's not natural for him to be like, hi, hi. I mean, what the fuck? Formulaic YouTube shit. Yeah, I ain't formulaic. No, I'm not. I ain't no formula. No, I'm not. That's right. All right, let's see. Cool Cat saying, yes, Lex. Raptors 905 birth our famous and most successful bench mob. We should keep that framework. If we can duplicate it with Markquis, kind of being in that Fred VanVleet role, I would love to see a cohort come up with them in that group coming up. I'm telling you right now. And Cool Cat saying at David, just consider morning show Lex. Morning show his intermittent fasting time. I need to do the same. No, this is actually true. And Cool Cat hit the nail on the head. I do actually purposefully intermittently fast for my health, and it has all kinds of benefits. It really does. If you're interested in that, you go look it up and learn more about it. But yeah, that's why they call breakfast, is because you're breaking the fasting of your body and you're giving it nutrients for the first time. And there's all kinds of interesting things you can do to cleanse toxins of your body with intermittent fasting. And Cool Cat's exactly right. That is part of me and what I'm doing right here. I'm in ketosis, and I'm burning that fat off my body as I talk so much in these 3 hours. Duke Rocks is saying, ironically, in the 3 preseason games, the Raptors won the free throw battle where the games have no meaning. The regular season starts and the whistle disappears. It's really concentration. They got to really take these things seriously. Free throws are real easy to fix. You just got to take them really seriously and take your time and concentrate and be present. Sometimes these guys are getting ahead. They're thinking too much about plays they're about to do. They're thinking about the next thing they're going to do. And they shouldn't just be fucking thinking of right then. Staying present is what they need to do when they're at the line. That is ironic that they shot better free throws in the preseason, for sure, Jason. That is ironic. Cool Cat's saying, yeah, Eric Khoury, fluid dynamics genius. So we need his genius higher order thinking for the basketball court. Book, Lex. That's a point for me. Yeah, I don't mind. Like, if he's got PhDs and it's extremely smart guy, I love that. I love his analytics. I love his stats side to him. It's important in the game today. But does that mean he should be on the sideline coaching, interacting with the refs, interacting and fighting for the team? Does he have that kind of personality? In some ways, if I saw him at the mall, I'd be like, this is a guy you could butt in front in line and he wouldn't even fucking tell you to get out of the way. Like, what are you doing? You butting in front of me at the movie theater. He's like, I don't care. Who are you? It's like, what are you going to do? Okay, I'll just let you do it. You know, I feel like he's got that personality. And that's the thing I don't like. If you're a coach, you need to be bombastic, very fantastic, and ready to fucking get into it and yell and get mad at people. And sometimes I worry about Curry's dog in some ways. It's like, oh, okay. All right, ref. I guess we'll just accept this. You know, I'm worried about that in his personality as far as being a coach. You can be an office stat cruncher all you want, but you get out on the court, it's pressure, and you got to fucking fight for your team and politic for them and tell the refs, you even fucking call that foul at that end. You need to be fiery. And in some ways, I worry about Eric Curry's fire. That's the thing I worry about. He's an office guy. He's not like Jack Armstrong or Hubie Brown or Dr. Jack Ramsey. They were out there and fighting for their team. In some ways, I want to see that. I want to see fieriness from you, Eric Khoury, this year. I want to see that you belong, that you're actually a coach and not just a PhD egghead. That's right. That's what I want to see this year. And I want to see it in your winning percentage. That's where I will say, well, he's an effective coach because he won most of his games this year. The proof is in the pudding, Eric Khoury. Prove me wrong. Show me that you are a badass and you will be fiery for your team this year. I put that challenge to you, coach. I put that challenge to you, Eric. Let's see you get out there and get mad. Throw a clipboard. Get thrown out of the game. That's right. I want to see Christian Siakam coaching the game for a little while. That's right. MSJ saying, talk to you later, freaks. Good talk on the fine details. And I hope and pray Mexico gets a team. I'm moving back down there and want a localish team. There you go. MSJ spending time in Central America down there at times. And you know what? If the Mexico City has a team, you can go see an NBA game down there. That'd be fantastic. Yeah. Superfan Mo's got Dennis Schroeder's stats on blast right now. I love it. 17 points per game, 2.8 rebounds, 8.4 assists, 1.1 steals, 0.3 blocks, 47% field goal percentage. I love that. He's above 45, and he's shooting a higher percentage than his normal career average. 40% threes. That's very good too. And 58 total shooting percentage. Really very good stuff. Let's see. Trevor J saying, Tomorrow, Raptors going to beat Brown, Jason, and the new big man, Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme. That's right. Trevor J, you just called Porzingis Krispy Kreme. I'm going to give you a dump. That's right. Yeah, Boston tomorrow. We'll have the preview. I'll have the ref report, all the latest news, and we'll get you oriented and ready for the Boston Celtics and the Raptors Saturday night in the Fleet Center or whatever center they fucking play in. Shaq Lindsay saying, send down Gradey to the 905 and bring up his son, Ron Harper Jr. Can't keep Ron Harper Jr. in the 905 for another season. It looks bad on the organization if he's not given a chance, especially if Gradey is. That's an interesting take, Shaq Lindsay. Ron Harper, there's, whatever the path is for him, there's no guarantees that he's going to come up and be a regular NBA player. He has to work hard and make it happen. And in some ways, that's something he needs to do. If he can prove it down there, he's playing so good all around and very overpowering. It'll make him feel like, oh, he doesn't belong down there. And maybe he will get this to happen. In some ways, they're different players. Grady's a little bit like this is the difference between an undrafted player and a top draft pick. And, there's differences with this. Ron was not drafted. Gradey was drafted, our first round pick this year. So that's a lot of it right there when you're going to factor in these kind of things. Kareem saying, Darko's fit against Dallas was somewhat iconic. It was a white Raptors zip up with fresh white Nikes. So far, he's winning best dressed coach of the year. There you go. I didn't really pick up on this, Kareem, but if you want to go Joan Rivers style, please, you go ahead and give me the update on what he's wearing. And maybe these will be really fun little reports that you do after games. Give me the Darko style fit ratings. How about that? I love it, Kareem. I love it. I'm not going to pay attention. I did see the white. I thought it was very interesting that we were wearing white in a couple of these games recently as the good guys, and the other team had the darker colors. In some ways, that's a way that they kind of make us the bad guys when they make us wear our black and red jerseys. Sometimes I feel like we're like the Empire, and Darth Vader is our like GM, and like we should have the Imperial March come out when we come out to the court. Dun 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 dun. It's not a bad song for us, honestly, because we are kind of impending doom for whoever we're playing. Let's see. Cool Cat saying Adam Silver has followed the plan that David Stern left behind. David Stern wants the NBA to be an international and to have teams all over the world, then global competition with all NBA teams all over. Yeah, I mean, he tried to. They really were thinking about doing a European NBA, but there's in some ways the leagues that are already there in the countries kind of really fill all those spots. And it'd be really hard for an upstart European NBA branch to start over there competing with like the really good Spanish and Italian and those kind of leagues that make major money and already have a lot of prestige and are already fine. It's almost like, NBA, we don't need you in Europe. We have very good high level leagues already, but if they could get their toe into that market and get something established, it's really tough. And it could hurt the league a lot money wise if it doesn't do well. We've seen things like the World Football League go over to Europe and absolutely fail. So in some ways, this is a really risky plan. And to do it correctly, they're going to need to put like 8 teams down over there all at once to make an NBA Europe. And it's just not feasible. And it's very dangerous. In fact, I would predict that if they tried to do this, it would fail. So in some ways, it's a medium step to do something in Mexico. In some ways, you can't go all the way to Europe and have an 8-team league over there. Well, put a team in Mexico, and you'll get a little bit more international that way. Cool Cat saying currently junior NBA is all over the world. NBA BAL Africa, NBA in Latin America, NBA in Europe, NBA Asia. It's just that most North American fans are not following these programs. Blueprint is out. Yeah, this is part of how Teresa Resch met Masai Ujiri. Was doing a lot of the international programs with the NBA in the mid 2000s. So this has been a strategy for a long time, the outreach. And we've seen major growth for the NBA brand in places like China, in Southeast Asia, Latin America, Africa. Yeah, we've seen more people get more involved. And it's part of helping the numbers globally for watching the NBA games and people buying NBA apparel, but also to test those markets for viability for possible teams to be there. Another emerging market and economy is India. India, in a lot of ways, is getting targeted by the NBA and putting more stuff there. And that could be a very interesting possible thing. Like it may be they're more successful with an NBA in Asia than they are in Europe, partly because, people there will be really go crazy for it. Although the people that were in the stands for FIBA World Cup were kind of disappointing in some places, though. There was a lot of empty arenas at FIBA World Cup also, so maybe it isn't as good as I think. Cool Cat saying Isaiah Thomas should try Europe or other leagues around the world. You can't badmouth the NBA and think you'll have a career. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Yeah, in some ways, yeah, I'm a dangerous person because I bite the hand of the NBA all the time. But are they fucking feeding me? No, they're not. But yeah, this may be part of it. There may be an underlying reason why Isaiah Thomas is not in the NBA, but he hasn't been in the NBA for like 5 years. So it's like, it's really a long shot. I don't think his comeback career is going to happen, but you're right. He should go to Europe. He should go be like Kemba and make a huge salary in Greece or something. That's a smart way to do it. Cool Cat saying analytics is at war with players who are fighting for mid-range. Playoffs, you see a lot of mid-range. Celtics lost the Warriors by not shooting mid-range when 3 points were not falling. Yeah, see, it's just like, in some ways, why are you cutting your arm off? You need both arms to play. Like, in some ways, I think the mid-range is just an essential part of the NBA game. And that when you just disregard it or ignore it or stay away from it, you hurt your team strategically. You really do. You need that shot. It's a part of the game. It's like, in some ways, it's like, what, you just want to cut out, like, at some point, dunking? What if the analytics found out, oh, dunking is bad for the game? You shouldn't be doing it. It's not good for winning. And then all these coaches are like, guys, you can't dunk anymore. What? See, it sounds as stupid as that to me. Honestly, it sounds as stupid as that, honestly. Country Con saying, Lex, I rewatched our last game. Our ball movement was absolutely incredible. We already have a top 5 defense. Our style of ball moving offense has serious playoff potential. Raptors are cooking with gas. I agree with this, Country Con. Things were very illuminated against Luka and Khoury on Wednesday because in some ways we have legs and we have ingredients for a championship team. That's why I said Toronto Raptors NBA champions 2024 a couple times in the last couple of days. This is a mix of veteran with youth and the emerging superstar that Scotty, we have no idea how far he can carry us. And then you've got like a super supreme defense, like a top defense in the league, and an offense that's becoming very fruitful and going to get better and better as the league season goes on. Yes, Country Kong, I see the same thing that you're seeing. And the potential is unlimited for this Raptors team. It's really what they want to accomplish by putting the work in and staying together and growing together. They can go as far as they want to. I'm not going to limit them in my mind. And I know Darko's not either. He's going to allow for them to grow as much as possible and cultivate it as best as he can. He's got a green thumb, just like a farmer has in a garden with these players, is what I'm saying. He's going to be growing them. That's right. Cool Cat saying, yep, short guys steal the ball down low. In Lakers versus Houston Rockets, I saw my villain Dylan lock up LeBron. The Fred VanVleet swooped in and stole the ball down low. It was fun to see those Fred VanVleet hands. Those strong Fred VanVleet Groat hands. We love Freddie, one of the greatest Raptors of all time, for sure. And I love it. You were reveling in that win over the Lakers the other night, weren't you, Cool Cat? Dylan talking to LeBron, having that standoff. They were like High Noon and Wild West, yet talking to each other real serious. real serious. I wish I could have heard what they were saying. It's probably really funny, like immature shit. It's kind of like maybe LeBron's like, Dylan, why do you do this? What's wrong with you? And Dylan's like, shut up. I'm going to kill you. You are a suck. You're not as good as you think. Well, who do you think you're talking to? I'm LeBron James, 21 years. Look at what I've done. You still suck. I'm going to take you down. He's like, you are delusional, man. I'm a little bit worried about you with your brain. What's going on with you? I'm wondering what they were saying to each other when they're staring at each other. It would probably be really funny to hear the conversation between Dylan Brooks and LeBron James from the game the other night. Stargate saying Josh Howard is coaching high school now, I think. Yeah, there's a new stunted growth on him that talks about how he got blackballed from the league, how he got kicked out, and his career had to end all of a sudden. And he had some more good years than him still. Cool Cat saying, I think our core players have excellent basketball fundamentals. The introduction to the game was solid from basketball old hoop heads. Yeah, and I love that they're listening to people like Thad. Listen, Thad Young may not be playing right now, but he is such a huge, good part of our team. Chris Boucher saying the other day in his interview after the game that he was getting down about getting DMPs, but Thaddeus stepped up and really talked to him about the whole situation, and he made him feel better about it. So Thad's showing a lot of leadership and talking to these guys still. And Chris gave him a lot of credit for helping him keep his head up and be ready to come in and play, even though he's missed some games recently. So, Thaddeus is a great part of our team, even if he's collecting DMPs. He's doing a lot of stuff around our team to help. Let's see. David's saying, this is why I was saying when we played the Spurs that Nowell should guard Wemby, Kryptonite. I know, as you guys were saying this, I thought about it more. And it was like the philosophy of it is sound. It's sound. I know Cool Cat and you were both saying it. And that's why I wanted to bring it up too, because I feel like it's true. I feel like these little guys are the kryptonite for the big guys. And it'll be very interesting to see. Cool Cat is saying also, hang on. No. Lex, you're reading too much into my statements. I'm sharing information only from sources I trust. Coach Darko interviews, player growth opportunities, NBA growth from sources I trust. I know if I'm coming down on you or anything, it's just sometimes in some ways, I'm really trying to be as positive as possible. In some ways, I need to be more realistic and listen to some of the things you're saying, like the things about ownership and Tannenbaum that you brought up recently. It's just I hate what you're saying because I don't like the things that could happen. So in some ways, I'm a little bit like, no, I don't want to listen to Cool Cat. I don't want to listen to her, even if she is coming from places that are good and factual and authentic sources. In some ways, I don't want to see the truth. Does that make sense? Please don't wake me up from my dream, is what I'm saying. Cool Cat's saying we have to understand OG as an employee in the NBA wants growth in his career. The team will find ways to accommodate it. It's part of player empowerment. If it works, great. If not, OG will see proof. Yeah, I just don't think that is wise with him. I think this is going to cause a lot of turnovers, and we're just going to we may lose games because we're trying to do experiments with OG and doing certain things on the offense. I think that's been true in the past that Nick tried to do certain things with OG and it just didn't work. And we did it for too long and it kind of hurt us for too long. In some ways, I don't really want to revisit it. I think there's so many different ways we can get OG going more offensively that it doesn't have to be back to the basket, post up, or off the dribble stuff with somebody guarding him. I just think that that's just my personal opinion. In some ways, that may not even be an area that he's actually that interested in expanding into. It may be very much what he's doing already. Like the attacking the rim is the very new thing, like him doing it this much. And that may be what he's talking about. I want to expand my game as far as I'm going to get more points attacking the rim. But I don't know. I may be talking about the same thing. It's just semantics. Let's see. Cool Cat saying also, the podcast also touched on draft extended for 2 days. Feedback was that it helps the team decision making instead of frenzied scenarios. I could see that. I can see that making sense. It's also good for us old people so we can go to bed. CountryCon saying, I have to defend OG here. 1 year ago today, Pascal was out and OG was our leader on offense. He had 36 in New York. OG hasn't even gotten the reps yet to show what he worked on with Steph in the offseason. Well, listen, he's going to get chances. What have we seen this past week? We've got Scotty elevate his game in San Antonio. We see Siakam elevate his game in Dallas. Well, maybe OG gets his call, and he is the top player for us against Boston tomorrow. Maybe he's the leading scorer. Maybe he can go get almost 40 against Boston tomorrow night. Sometimes it's just on certain nights, certain matchups, certain water goes certain ways. Siakam bullying Grant Williams, boom, 31 points. So it's going to be like matchups and certain things, and maybe we'll see OG blossom. Now, if these guys aren't around and he has to do it, yeah, he's more likely to do it. But if they're keying on Scott and they're keying on Pascal, maybe OG has to take a step up on the offense and carry us more himself. So we'll see. We'll see. Nameless is saying exactly the mid-range has potential to reset the offense. That's right. It's just basic basketball fundamentals. You make them have to worry about the middle range area, then it changes things on how teams defend and stuff. Denal saying, does anyone know if we weren't able to play the two-way guys, or is Darko just trying to stabilize his roster? He could have played them. And in fact, in the past years, Nick would have played all the two-way guys already on the main roster. In some ways, he likes to give them a taste, but Darko's decided not to do that. That is a personal choice by him. He could have played Markquis, Javon, or Ron at any point in the games already. But in some ways, I guess he wanted to just send them to 905 and let them start there. And if they show fruit in 905, maybe he calls them up from there. I don't know. It is a different way of doing things than Nick did, because Nick definitely gave his young players a quick entry into the NBA and let them have their moment of you're arrived already. Darko hasn't done that for Nowell yet. Nowell has not made his NBA debut. Whereas last year, Ron Harper got in just for a hot cup of coffee in his rookie year right away, just to get that out of the way and say, I played in the NBA. So who knows? It's totally Darko's decision. It is his decision, and it is different than what Nick did last year for sure. For sure. All right, let's keep going. Fiercely saying Raptors follow the social media trends. Laugh out loud. They're social media strategists. Can you believe it? They do research and develop the best ways of enticing viewers and followers. Yes. To me, I just hate it because I'm an old head. And I want to, like I said, I just want to watch one whole clip of Raptors today with Akil and Paul Jones and Sherman Hamilton with their Vince Carter Funkos. I want to watch it just all in one clip. I don't want to have to go and click and find 3 different short clips instead of that. It's just me being cantankerous and old and grumpy. That's all. The world is moving past me, and this is just me yelling at the wall. Is basically what it is. Cool Cat saying, "Hi, Alex. I love your take on YouTube with their algorithm. Yes, you allow natural human interactions instead of analytics. Yeah, I'm bucking that. I don't give a shit about business models. I don't give a shit about making things attractive to get more people here. I got the right people here. In some ways, the quality here is much better. And then just going quantity. If I wanted 1 million followers, I'd do more shit like what the other YouTubers for Raptors are doing. I don't care. I want the right people here. I don't want to make all the bells and whistles. I'm not trying to soup this up and make this the most pleasant package for people to digest or anything. No, this is a long stream, and we hear everybody who says what, and it's interactive, and it's all kinds of special niche things that is different than everybody else. And I have my own specific people that I love dealing with, and that's you guys. If I get more you guys coming and at whatever pace, I don't care. They don't need to all come in. It's not like I want 1,000 new subscribers over one day or anything like that, like some of these people are aiming for. It very much is a different calibration of what the goals are. And mine are way different than hardly anybody's on YouTube. I don't give a shit about making any damn money with this channel. I don't give a shit that I'm spending 3 hours every morning talking to y'all on this thing. I love it. I have a passion for it, and that's why I do it. And they give me all these analytics. YouTube sends me a newsletter and they say, you could improve your channel by doing this and this. I say, I don't give a fuck. My channel is awesome. And I do it the way I do it. I'll go in there and look at the analytics. Okay, sure. Okay, these people dropped off when you start talking about the war in Israel. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. Either you stick with me or you don't. It's just like in permaculture. You put a plant in the ground. If it doesn't survive the winter, well, it wasn't supposed to. And the plants that will survive the winter will. And that's just how I look at it. I'm not looking for 1 million followers. I'm not looking to make thousands and thousands of dollars off this channel. I'm looking to do exactly what I'm doing, and I'm doing it, and I love it. And that's all that matters right there. That's right. Name is saying the mid-range forces the opposing defenses to adjust. Totally necessary. Totally necessary. Exactly. Family lay. What is that song? Family lay. David's saying, hey, Nameless, welcome to the channel. Dap. All right. Hey, everyone. Good to meet y'all. All right. Nameless. Good. Nice to have a new name in here that is nameless. I hope you're doing well. Chabelle. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, oh, no, Lex. Khoury's statement didn't land. I was trying to be funny to get a dunk. Damn, it was a dud. All right. What did you do? I forget what it is. I'm going to give you a dunk because you just asked me, and I like you, and I want to give you a dunk. Yeah. Okay. So you're making a joke, and I read it too straight. I get it. That happens to me all the time. In some ways, I don't read sarcasm very well. So you guys are laughing about it. Duke Rocks is saying, I was referring to free throw attempts and the disparity and the ref's whistle bias. How did we win the free throw battle in preseason and lose it in 7 or 8 games in the regular season? Raps game hasn't changed. This is a good point by Duke Rocks. I get it. Now you're saying we had favorable calls from the refs and got a lot of trips to the free throw line, and now we're not getting them, is what you're saying. I get it. There may be some truth to this. Otherwise, we just need to win anyway. Race Mode's saying, oh, man, I missed the cutoff. Another Lexathon. Let's go. You can comment whenever you want, Race Mode. Okay, even though Monique and you guys are cutting. W Stream Lex. Keep at it always. Good times. Go 905. Go Raptors. Only up from here. Name was saying, let's be honest. There's no prestigious Italian league. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're ruining it with the scandals around our great Sergio Scariolo. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the Italian league. I'm not following it close enough. Denal saying, I vote that before every game, Raptors play a Lex story time about how the game is going to go. Raptors getting pulled over by Irish Celtics and then handing them registration and chopping their heads. That is so weird, Denal. And I'm so happy to see you back. It's been a little bit. We love you, Denal, a regular Raptorsfreak from way back. And I think that's hilarious. It's kind of like my real mascot matchup from last year, but not totally. I think Irish cops, what? Irish Celtics getting pulled over by Irish Celtics. What? Trevor J saying, as Khoury said, it was looking like looking at a track and field game from the Raptors. The speed was too much for them to handle. Yeah, Kyrie Irving was glowing about the Raptors team after the Mavericks game and saying that, like, yeah, the pace, they weren't ready for this. In a lot of ways, they did underestimate the Raptors. They bought all the bullshit that ESPN had been telling them, and they found out the reality. And that's their lesson. When they play the Raptors again later this season, they'll adjust and they won't be so lackadaisical in how they deal with things. Watch. But yeah, Kyrie was impressed with how much the up and down the game was the other day, that it was very much up and down in game, and we dictated that pace. The Dallas Mavericks announcers were saying the pace very much favors the Raptors, and it for sure did. Yes, it did. Fiercely saying, some guy praised Nick Nurse as the Sixers are doing well. I mentioned he works well with established players, stars, and vets, and didn't help develop the youth. Some told me and said he's won 2 G Leagues. Okay. Also that he develops Maxey, whatever. They're saying that he's going to win two G League championships, or they said that he won 2 G League championships. No, he didn't. He didn't win those. Jerry Stackhouse won one, and I believe the other one was Jama or something. I don't know. It's whatever. You know, the Sixers fans are going to build the legend of Nick in all kinds of crazy ways. They'll find out the reality of him eventually. They'll find out the reality at some point. For sure, they will. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, Lex is my morning show. I don't listen to anything until I have my Lex fix. Sets my day straight. That's awesome, Cool Cat. I love that so much. That's so sweet. Kareem saying, I'm going to try and see if I can meet with y'all next week. When I hear Wings, my heart melts. You going to sing that song? I want to hear that. I want to hear you guys sing. I want to hear y'all's pipes. Y'all have heard my pipes so often. It's time for y'all to come and step up to the mic. And even if it's horrible and it's kind of fun, we'll support you anyway. In fact, you know, so any requests for next week, karaoke night, we're doing a Raptors hangout, Raptorsfreak hangout at the Real Jerk, Carlaw and Gerard, Thursday night next week, between the Milwaukee and the Boston game. And Tom Duke will be there. I'll be there. There'll be real food, real jerk food, awesome wings, such good jerk wings, patties, all the kinds of stuff you can get at a Jamaican restaurant, plus a karaoke night. Kareem, I hope you will be there. Any of y'all that want to come, and you're in Toronto, next Thursday night, the 16th, 7 p.m., Real Jerk, Carlaw, and Gerard, we will be there. The Raptorsfreak family will be in full effect. Saborans, Tom Duke, myself, hopefully Granny Evelyn, Raymond Jacob, and more will be there. So if you get there and you show up, Kareem, we'll be there, and hopefully other people will be there too. I'll love that. That'll be awesome. All right, let's see. Denal saying, yes, mascot matchup. That's what I meant. They're always so random, and I love them. Haha, other teams scheming against us, but we always pulled it out. The Raptors shall prevail. There you go, Denal. Well, this year it's the marquee main event matchup. I switched it up. It's more about like me announcing like a matchup like Michael Buffer would, and kind of making it fun. But yeah, the mascot matchup was great for 2 years, but I really kind of ran out of ideas with it. And it was kind of getting stale. So I had to switch it up. It's now the main event marquee matchup, and we'll have one tomorrow for the game against the Boston Celtics. Random Gamer saying, I don't know, man. Nick Nurse effect seems real. Laugh out loud. Just wanted to drop by and say how much I'm having fun watching this Nick Nurse-led Sixers team. Good to see you, Random Gamer. I think it's real, too. There is a Nick Nurse effect. And it really is that he has his shit organized. He's very militant and very kind of like strict. And in some ways, he's got them prepared correctly. In some ways, he's very much utilizing the strengths of Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey very well. And it's adding up to winning. He's very much different than Doc Rivers. You can see that. In some ways, you realize why the Raptors were so good for years now is the way Nick coached them. I agree. Nick Nurse does have an effect, and he is a very, very good coach. And he's doing a great job with you guys. The thing of the comment earlier was about G League stuff. He really didn't have anything to do with the G League development, just so y'all know. That's what I was talking about. Like, there are other coaches that were more hands-on with the G League than he was. So anything that Fred and Pascal and Jakob did at the G League, that's more Jerry Stackhouse or Jama Mahalea than Nick Nurse, because Nick Nurse was assistant coach with the Raptors the whole time, and he never coached the G League team. He didn't coach the G League team ever, not at all. So he coached G League stuff way before with Fort Wayne and whatever team he was coaching then. I think he was coaching the Rockets team. But yeah, A clarification. He's a great NBA coach with established veteran players like your team, but he's not good with a young team like the Raptors were last year, and he's not good with a G League team either. I mean, he was back in the day, but at this point, he's graduated up. Random Gamer, I'm glad you're happy. Seriously, if any of the Sixers fans are happy, I'm glad you are. Let's just put it that way. Cool Cat saying, wait, what? Wait, you want us to sing? Holy shit, I can't sing to save my life. Laugh out loud. It's optional. You don't have to. Even if there's a couple of y'all that don't sing, you could get up there as a group and just do like a chorus of bad singing. And at least it won't just be by yourself. But I'll definitely go up there and sing myself. I'm hoping they still do karaoke on Thursday nights. If they don't, we'll just hang out. Maybe we'll just sing songs at the table. I don't know. Denal saying, Fiercey, Nick can't take credit for Maxey. All Maxey needed was Harden gone so he could have the opportunity. And this is a good point. I can get behind this. The Maxey's uptick is partly because of Harden's absence. I can get behind this. This is a good point by Denal. Random Gamer saying, laugh out loud. I always manage to get into the stream right when the Sixers are mentioned. I might have superpowers, not going to lie. I don't even know why we mentioned them just now. I don't know. We're not like talking about them all the time, but I mean, they're valid to talk about a lot. There's a lot of crossover now that you got Nick. Let's see. Mo's saying Jason Kidd called this team soft, called his team soft. Laugh out loud. Love it. Go Raptors. He's right. His team was soft near the basket. Maxi Kleber's so soft. Don't call Dwight Powell soft. That man will run into a wall himself with his own head and almost kill himself. No, he's not soft. The man, he can run in, jump in the wall, and bang his head like he did in that one clip and still walk around. That's tough, Jason Kidd. Come on now. That Canadian power forward, Dwight Powell, is tough. He can run into a wall with his head. Yeah, Cool Cat's laughing chorus of bad singing. Yeah, we'll get a couple people up there. Cool Cat's saying, I'll sing YouTube. It's a beautiful day. It's one of my favorite songs. I'd love to see that. You know what? If you sing Beautiful Day, I'll sing it with you. And I'll do all the high parts. You can do like the regular stuff, and I'll do the chorus. I'll do the "It's a beautiful day," and then you can do like just the like "You're on your own." You can do all the lyrics, and I'll just do the high singing parts for Bono in the chorus. Yeah, we can do that. We'll do it as a duo. Denal saying 72 points in the paint. Did I read that right? That's right. Yeah, that's what happened. Jason Kidd said that they were soft because 72 points in the paint, and that was Siakam. That's right. Duo coming up. That's right. We're gonna get up there and sing some songs. This will be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. I want to see Tom Duke sing something. Yeah, I want to see Tom Duke sing something. That'll be fun. Davis Aborin, get up there and give us a entertainment with your beautiful voice, David. I know you have a beautiful singing voice, and we want to hear it. It'll be awesome. All right, let me do the Raptors Instagram check real quick. We got Mogi wearing his 905 threads. They came out with the media day pictures of the 905 over the last couple of days. So get to know your 905ers. You can go see pictures of them, and you can see the faces to the names and kind of know who they are. He's also listening to Larry June and Cardo Road Running. Yeah, Larry June's a good rapper. I got a lot of respect for Larry June. He's not a bad guy at all. Mr. New York City's got a post saying that dream was planted in your heart for a reason. He's ready for game day, baby. I'm telling you, there's his Raptors 905 media day picture. Markquis, you go. We're rooting for you, young man. And then, there's a picture of him with a young lady and saying, happy birthday to my girl. Love being your uncle. There's Uncle Markquis with his niece. I love that. That's so cute. Let's see. Do I have any more Raptors Instagram? We see a picture of Garrett Temple and Dennis Schroeder coming into the game and their fits on Raptors official account. And then there's a picture of Chris. And they brought this game. It's like Twisted, Twisted. You know that dumb kids game? And they were like playing it. It's like the newest version of Simon. Simon was a game in the 70s that us old heads used to play where you hit the colored buttons. And they got this one where you twist it, you pull it, and all this other bullshit. And Chris was playing with it for a little bit. Some of the other guys were doing it. Jakob did it for a little bit. It's hard. I don't know. It's a goofy clip. You can find it in a lot of places. Some ducks also got something that's saying you think darkness is your ally, but you're merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. Bane. He's quoting Bane, who is not Desmond, but the Batman character, the villain. So he's feeling like he's in the dark, but he's ready to emerge. All right, I like that. And then we got Koloko. He's coming in. He's on his fit with OG. They're wearing the sweats, and he's saying typically he's wearing those sweats. He's on the road with the Raptors, even though he's not playing. Javon Freeman Liberty with his media day picture of Raptors 905. We see Gradey with his same fit on the runway also in Boston, coming in to be in Boston. He's wearing like a nice pink and orange hoodie of some sort. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Siakam has got a post about his PS43 foundation, what he's been doing, talking about what he's been doing in the community. Okay, that's interesting. That's pretty much it for our Raptors Instagram check today. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything else. Once again, our referees today for our 905 G League game are Kevin Fahey, Cass Beverly, and Jafar Kinsey. I have no idea who those guys are or what they're about. And let's see, was there anything else I wanted to talk about? Okay, yeah, in-season tournament tonight. Is a game in our group. The Brooklyn Nets are playing in Boston tonight in our group. The Nets have already lost to the Bulls. So if they lose to the Celtics tonight, they're pretty much eliminated for sure from making it to Vegas. And in some ways, they may be easier to beat for us down the road if they're already kind of eliminated out. So let's see if the Nets can be a spoiler and mess up the Celtics tonight in their in-season tournament game. This is also interesting that the Celtics are playing the Nets in the in-season tournament tonight, the first night of a back-to-back, and we'll get to go play them tomorrow. And they're not traveling, though, so it's not like they got to go anywhere. So it's a back-to-back still. They got to play in a very intense in-season tournament game tonight against the Nets, and then they play us tomorrow. So maybe that might be an advantage that helps us beat the Celtics tomorrow night. The fact that we're on 2 days rest and they're going to be on the second night of a back-to-back. So there you go. I love it. I love it. I love it. Name is saying Lex's sweet, sweet voice. Come angeli, like angels. Oh! Wayne Strader saying 905 should be interesting. Looking forward to see them. That's right. If you want to watch the game, just go to the G League website. They'll have it there for you to get. All right. Don't forget your Yahoo fantasy basketball teams. Make sure you set up your lineup for tonight. All right, let's wrap it up right now. David Saborn saying at Random Gamer, nice to see you. Please give Nick Nurse a salute for me. There you go. He's got a nice one-finger salute for Nick Nurse from David Saborn, and Nameless is laughing about that. I like that. I like that. David, you're getting a dunk for being so friendly. So friendly, David. Such a friendly guy. All right, let's go. All right, I'm done. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you understand our Raptors 905 a little bit better from today's stream, a little bit more about other things like Mexico and in-season tournament and, stuff like that. Always kind of stuff like that. Yeah, you want that alley-oop for David? Yeah, there you go. You got the dunk. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and join. If you want to join the channel, you can join as a member. I'll be back tomorrow, 9:30, for a preview for the Boston Celtics game on Saturday night. Let's see if the Nets can beat them tonight. I'm very much rooting for the Brooklyn Nets in the in-season tournament against the Celtics. And if they can beat them, that would be fantastic, honestly. That would be really, really good in a lot of different ways. So we should all be Nets fans tonight in a major way, but not Long Island Nets, Brooklyn Nets. And root for the Raptors 905 also. David Saborn, what an angel. He has an angelic voice too. Like I'm fully expecting we'll get to karaoke next week and David will get up there and he'll clear his voice real deep. And then it'll be like some sort of crazy ass, beautiful falsetto. And he'll sing like Frankie Valli from like the 1950s. He'll sing like Dream Girl or something like that. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go Raptors 905. Yeah, 905, baby.